Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ask a Scientist Gaming, where we combine mediocre gameplay with expert science. I'm Ken Hansen, Associate Professor in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry at Florida State University. I do photochemistry/photophysics. I shine light on molecules and materials, and I track that light energy and hopefully do something useful with it, like move electrons, move energy, make and break bonds. But more importantly, joining me today is Dr. Chris Martin. Chris, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Sure. So, hi, Chris Martin. I am an assistant professor in psychology. I'm also affiliated with the program in neuroscience at Florida State University. And in my lab, we use tools from cognitive neuroscience to understand how the brain supports the mind. And more specifically, we ask questions about how the brain supports memory. So how are we able to mentally project ourselves back in time to re-experience the past? And, sometimes I think of myself as a memory scientist who flirts with vision science, because we also give thought to the question of how memory systems interact with visual systems and other things along those lines. And we do this by using functional neuroimaging. So functional magnetic resonance imaging is one tool we use. We also work with patients who have brain injuries and individuals that have neurological disorders to understand, again, how the brain supports the mind and specifically memory.
What do you typically teach?
Oh, yes. So typically I teach cognitive neuroscience. And then occasionally I will swap in human memory and learning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Equally important, what game are we starting with?
We are going to start with Metroid Dread. This is a game that came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago, although I may have the timeline wrong.
I think that's right. It's 2020, 2021,
something like that. Yeah. And it's a beautiful little platformer game. I think that's what this kind of game is called. And it's got beautiful controls and great colors. Everything about it is fantastic, except it can be challenging at times. So if you are a gamer, I think Ken got it right when he said mediocre gameplay. Don't judge my skills. Yeah, avert your eyes. Yeah, exactly.
So October 8th, 2021.
2021. Okay, yeah.
So you were at the midnight premiere. You waited up at Best Buy. No,
Yeah,
those days are gone.
Yeah, those days are long gone. Although I will say, when the Switch 2 came out, I did.
Oh, you did pre-order?
I did not pre-order. Instead, I thought it would be fun, because I was actually trying to finalize a grant proposal at that time, to, after a long night at work, just go to the Best Buy parking lot the night of the Switch 2 release, and there was a line, so I didn't get it. But
I respect that. You tried.
I tried. Yeah, we went. I went the next morning to Costco, and there was a very little line, and was able to get one there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you playing on the Switch 2 then?
So far, well, the only games that there are, really. Whoops, what have I done? All right. Donkey Kong Bonanza and the racing game. What's it called? Mario Kart. Mario Kart.
Mario World?
Mario Kart World, yes, exactly. Yeah, which is good fun.
Well, it's nice. My understanding is all these games are reverse compatible, right? So you can play this on the Switch too.
Yeah, certainly any first-party games, like the Nintendo games would be.
Yeah, the one I'm waiting for is Mario Maker 3. I don't know if you're familiar with Mario Maker.
I am familiar with Mario Maker. It's not a game I've played.
Yeah.
But it looks like it would be fun. My big thing, though, right now is that most of the games that I would play are things that my kids would also enjoy playing, so we play together.
Yeah.
And I frankly dread the prospect of my kids making levels in Mario Maker.
And making you play them.
And making me play them, exactly, yeah.
My daughter does that.
Really? Yeah.
In the community, they're called Little Timmy levels, where it's just like 30 bosses and
Little Timmy levels.
Just like, here's 8 Bowsers, try to find the hidden star.
Yeah.
So you are right to be intimidated by that prospect.
Yeah. Also, I don't like the idea necessarily of them creating a level that I couldn't beat.
Yeah.
Because I'll never hear the end of that. Although, truthfully, we don't really play that many video games.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. It's a good family activity at this point.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you played It Takes Two or Split Fiction?
I've never even heard of it.
So that's one of the for Switch 2. I want to get that because I can play Split Fiction, and it's the sequel to It Takes Two. So It Takes Two, and I regret our guest last week was Paul Peluso, who's a family science expert. He like specializes in divorce and like cheating and family dynamics, which is an interesting dialogue while video gaming. But It Takes Two is a game about this couple who their kid makes a wish and they get put into dolls, and they're like going through a divorce, and they have this magic book that's trying to get them back together. And so the whole game is teamwork based. So it's two players, one has some mechanic, the other one has another one. So like this one shoots the fuel, this one shoots the fire.
So I think that reminds me of Mario Odyssey, right? Where you could have one character be the hat.
Yeah. And you can work cooperatively. Yeah. And so It Takes Two does that, but every single level is a new game mechanic. And it is an excellent game. Like
that's very neat.
3 years ago or something, it won all the Game of the Year awards. Cool. Well, my wife and I played it, and she's not a gamer by any means, but it's more of a like mental problem solving, like a Portal 2 kind of strategy.
Yeah, good strategy for divorce.
Yeah, exactly. But I regret not asking Paul about it.
Yeah.
It's like, which game accurately or unaccurately captures your discipline? Yeah. The answer is It Takes Two. Yeah. But the sequel to that, the Split Fiction, is basically a sci-fi author and a fantasy author get stuck in a world together, and they basically have to play through their own stories. And so it alternates between fantasy and sci-fi. And the same idea. Each level has a new mechanic.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's Switch 2. I can play that apparently.
Got it. Yeah, this game is not dissimilar in the sense that each time you make a certain amount of progress, you get a new mechanic. And until then, most of the things that you're seeing on the screen in a given level are actually not playable as of yet. You can't interact with them until you get certain powers. When I was a kid, I loved playing Metroid. It was the first game. I don't know that it was the first game, but it was the first game that I played where it was non-linear, where you had to advance to level 2 from 1, but in order to get past 2, you had to go back to 1 at some point, right? Yep. So that kind of gameplay, and that's the way this is, and it's very easy to get lost.
But the worst part about the original is there was hidden passages that the days before the internet.
Yes. Yeah. When you would literally get stuck and have to call Nintendo
for
say
$2 a minute.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But now you're just one Google search away. Let's see.
Exactly.
Metroid map. Yeah. There it is. The entirety of the Metroid game right there.
Yeah.
How is this one? This one's pretty. It's non-linear, but it's
that's correct. Yeah, but and you know, it's honestly hard for me to gauge because I'm not a kid anymore.
That's true.
My kids don't particularly like this game because they find it too difficult. And when they do play, they often get lost. So, yeah, even within a level, it's not necessarily linear. Yeah.
I can see the frustration.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like speed through what this guy's saying because
we don't need the lore.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. We start with one particular question on every stream, and it's basically to debunk the myth that every one of us knew what we wanted to be when we grew up. Right, from the age of 5, we're like, I'm going to be a professor of chemistry, and that's rarely the case. And so the question is, what's the path that brought you to where you are today? And it was obviously a winding road, several forks in the road. In retrospect, you can look back and say, this was the moment where I diverted this way and my path narrowed more and more. What were those moments, starting with 6-year-old Chris?
6-year-old, yeah. Certainly 6-year-old Chris had only one ambition in life, and that was to play hockey.
Respect.
Really nothing else. And then, of course, you grow up and realize after one too many concussions that's not the path you should be on. Let's see if I can figure out where. No, I'm back where I started. I wasn't a particularly good high school student. Actually, I would even venture to say that I was a bad high school student. And I'm one of these folks that is this. First generation student, so like nobody in my family had gone to college or university, and I didn't even have any intentions of going because I didn't quite know what happened at these places. And I had a teacher in high school who thankfully encouraged me sort of at the last moment to apply to university. But even then, I didn't really know what I would want to do or what that even meant. And ended up applying at the university that was just nearest my home, because it's the only one I really knew. And ended up, not through any particular a priori interest, but ended up in a psychology program. And if I'm being honest, there was nothing really about it that captured my attention in the way that you would expect for somebody who now works in psychology. A lot of the survey courses were interesting, but the department I was in, the university I was at, was principally clinical psychology, right? And that's not really where my heart lies. And I enjoyed university. I enjoyed being a student. I enjoyed going to school and learning things. But even after I graduated, I didn't know exactly what I would want to do, nor did I know what happens in grad school. So I took a year off, like so many people do. I didn't really have a good idea of what one should do during that time, but I knew that I needed to earn a living. So I actually worked as a landscaper for the city that I lived in, which worked out to be a blessing, because I didn't know what I want to do. And landscaping work, you have to arrive to work really early and you finish really early, right?
Yeah.
So I would get home from work at say 2 p.m. and have an entire evening where I could do whatever I wanted to do. So I would go to the library and read. I just read broadly. And I came across a book by a neuroscientist named Eric Kandel. He's a Nobel laureate who had worked on sort of molecular and cellular basis of learning and memory. And the book is called In Search of Memory. It's a fantastic autobiography about life and science. And you could do a lot worse than reading that book. It's also about sort of his experience as a child, moving from Nazi-occupied Austria to America, and his success story there. But he finished, now I'm totally lost on where I'm going. He finished that book by saying, we've learned a lot about the neural mechanisms that support memory at a cellular level. But the next frontier is at the systems level, so cognitive neuroscience.
Yeah.
And I remember being sort of struck by that, and coupling that with the fact that memory is amazing, right? Memory is,
It's weird.
simply put, it's weird, but it's also amazing.
Profound, yeah.
You can just bring the past back to life at any moment in time, and that's super cool. And so those two things sort of combined got me interested in memory science, and specifically through a cognitive neuroscience lens. So that's the story. And I'm sure that I've left things out.
Yeah, but that was your I'm going to grad school moment.
That was my I'm going to grad school moment. Yeah, and
So you found a program that fulfilled that,
yes,
scratched that itch.
exactly, yes, and that was at Western University in London, Ontario. Yeah, charge beam. I forget what that is.
So that you went to grad school, you did a postdoc as well,
Yeah, I did a postdoc.
and that's because you knew you wanted to go academia, or what was the?
Yeah, that was it. That was it
Yeah.
exactly. I had learned enough about the brain and about memory science and about myself to know that was the path that I wanted to be on.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenge, of course, in cognitive neuroscience, and people that work in this discipline will tell you, is that you have to master cognitive psychology. You also have to master neuroscience, and you have to, especially if your background is psychology, you have to develop some degree of mastery of pretty complex methods, right? So like neuroimaging, if you don't have a background in computer science or math, that can be challenging, right?
Yeah.
So you got to do all of those things, and I enjoyed that challenge, but make no mistake, it wasn't easy for me.
I was going to say, the one question you were opposed to is a favorite equation.
Yeah.
You got a manifest of this.
I think so, yeah.
This loathing of the
Yeah, the favorite. Yeah, exactly. So I don't really have a favorite equation. I think a lot of people with psychology backgrounds wouldn't, unless it's more of a hobby of theirs.
Yeah. I mean, I think usually somebody would say something like the error analysis equations or some kind of, p-test or something, validity test.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose. I guess, we do a lot of linear modeling in imaging work. So, some version of y equals mx plus b, I guess.
Which is a great equation.
Yeah, here you've got me answering the question I didn't want to answer.
That's what made it most interesting. It's
Okay.
like when you say, I don't want this person to review my paper.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the person that should review it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I like it. All right, Cuddle Puppy, welcome back. Calm Down Bronco, welcome back as well. Cuddle Puppy wants to know, from a cognitive neuroscience perspective, what do you think about the executive getting caught cheating at a concert? Did you see that? The Coldplay, the CEO.
Yeah, I have to admit, I try to avoid Coldplay stuff.
You had no choice this week, sir.
Yeah, but everybody thinks, oh, Coldplay, Chris Martin, just like Coldplay, right? I'm like, yeah, just like Coldplay.
No, I get it.
From a cognitive neuroscience perspective, yeah, honestly, I don't know what to say to that one.
It's Cuddle Puppy. He's one of our trolls. That's amazing,
Okay.
Cuddle Puppy.
Yeah, that's good.
No, but I respect that because I've Kenny G. My middle initial happens to be G.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those
so you
office
get it then.
space, like,
Yeah.
why should I change my name? He's the one that sucks.
Yeah,
Cuddle Puppy, thank you for being topical. Well done.
yeah.
Cognitive neuroscience. I mean, he's a prick. Does that count? Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so one question we like to ask our guests when they play these games is, what do you think the speedrun record of Metroid Dread is? Fastest somebody has beaten this game.
Gosh.
Well, how long did it take you to beat the game on the first playthrough? It's probably
Dozens of hours.
yeah.
But I'm a person that likes to try to. I'm not a completionist per se, but I like to try to
Know the game.
collect things. So honestly, my guess is that it would be 48 minutes. I don't know why.
Pretty close, actually.
Oh, really?
Let's show you guys here if you want to see it. The answer is 38 minutes and 42 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And that's any percent. If you want 100%, it's an hour and 27 minutes. All bosses, an hour and 3 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a pretty reasonable guess. I guess they haven't found any major glitches.
You would that presumably not, because most speedruns are done, it's on the order of minutes.
Yep.
Not dozens of minutes.
If you find a way to glitch it.
I think, the programmers are getting better at these things. They want it, they try to, I assume, although maybe that gives the game some longevity. If you can get a community that wants to speedrun,
Yeah.
that's how your game lives on.
And that's the other thing is the more bulletproof you try to make it, the more egregious the glitch ends up being.
Yeah.
Clipping through walls and all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Oh, Cuddle
Yeah.
Puppy has a follow-up.
Okay.
From a molecular photophysics and spectroscopy perspective, what does Ken think of saxophone solos on mainstream radio? Thank you, Cuddle Puppy. Cheers.
Is this someone you know personally?
Cuddle Puppy is a longtime viewer and
Okay.
excellent at coming up with pointed questions like these.
Yeah, that is good.
Kenny G. I have a sordid history with my name. So first it was like Ken the Barbie doll, right? Like that was natural.
sure.
And then Kenny G, saxophone, world record, longest note. Kudos to him.
Wait,
but
what?
He held the longest note. He got a world record for
Oh.
because there's some kind of breathing mechanism you can do to sustain. So he held
Like
a
a
note for
beatboxer
like
or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
But he held it for like several hours. Let me
Several
look it up.
hours. What?
Record. No, we're learning things today.
That's wild.
Not several hours. He held an E flat for 45 minutes and 47 seconds.
That's pretty
That's
impressive.
Yeah. So he did that in 1997. So right when I was in high school, he had peak popularity. And then if you remember the group Hanson,
Bop. Yeah.
yeah.
So I had a little sister.
So Kenny G and Hanson came out at the same time. And then
That's so weird. I had this. If you just asked me about Kenny G, I would have said that he's been around since the 70s.
he has been, but like it was that world record, and then he had a tour after that popularity peaked. Oh, trust me, I know. But then after that, the South Park. You killed Kenny, so I got cycled through all those.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right now I'm running in circles in this game, and I gotta figure out...
No worries.
Oh, that opened up that door. Okay.
So long as you're having fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys have any questions for Chris, he's settled in, he's ready to play. We talked about his history, how he got to where he is today. Yeah, went through landscaping, which is always fun. You had a lot of time to think while landscaping too.
Yeah,
right?
you sure do. Think about how not to get poison ivy. Think about...
Oh my God, I got wrecked by poison ivy in our yard like 3 weeks ago. It was pretty bad.
Okay. The truth was that it wasn't, I say landscaping, that's a simplification. It wasn't like tending to flowers. It was maintaining vacant lots in the city.
Oh wow.
So these would be overgrown, with all
thresher.
kinds of things, and everybody in the neighborhood would bring their dog there to relieve itself. You go
A minefield.
Exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's brutal. Rosalind, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the first time chat. How do you landscape with a mustache like that? Did you have the mustache back then?
No. The mustache is a new look, but I've had it for I guess quite a while now. Much to my wife's chagrin, she does not like it. But it's not her face, so
Yeah. She does have to look at it in her defense.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna die for the first time.
Oh,
That never happens. There's like a 1% chance that you can deflect those attacks. My son will be super excited when he watches this.
that's awesome. Congratulations. We're going to celebrate that right away.
Yeah.
GG's. Only 20 minutes in and you're already breaking records.
Yeah, that
for
was...
personal bests.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta figure out...
Man, more importantly than the mustache, are you familiar with the Flow, the Minnesota hockey YouTube?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just making sure. You guys haven't seen it, it's spectacular. Every year, the Minnesota State Hockey Championships, there's a guy, he's from like, I don't know, Edina or something like that, but he does this really awesome video where he does the highlights of the kid's hair, because apparently that's a hockey tradition, right? It's
Yep.
the hair, which has been further amplified. They've gotten off the wall in recent years.
Well, it's hard to beat the classic, the OG Yarmar Yager.
Yeah.
I mean, he had some pretty good flow.
Such elegance.
Such elegance, yeah.
Like a stallion. Running
Amazingly,
the wind.
he still plays professionally in Europe, which is amazing because he's like 46 years old.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Like, I'm 43 right now, and I couldn't function.
Yeah, there are days when I've done nothing at all and I can't get out of bed. I'm not, I'm only 42, so it's amazing actually.
And you look at LeBron James, and he's what, just turned 40 or something like that? It's like 39.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it. Yeah.
That's fine. We'll use our brains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've had a sufficient number of concussions. I don't need more.
Yeah.
Rosalind wants to know, I might have missed this, but what model organism do you use in your research?
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure if I actually said that. If I didn't, I apologize. We work with humans. So, nothing, well, they're a model in a way, yes, but yeah, we do our work with humans.
Phrase the question. What is the worst organism to deal with? I'd argue humans.
Humans.
Like
Humans,
they're
yeah.
most-
In some ways, they're
variable.
fantastic. To my colleagues that work with rodents and other species, I will joke with them and just, highlight the fact that, our subjects, they feed themselves, they clothe themselves, they house themselves. We don't have to do any of that. But also, they're wild cards. You never know what you're going to get. And it could be frustrating at times because, running an fMRI experiment like we do can cost, for one subject, as much as $2,000. And if they just don't show up because, it's raining, that can be frustrating. Yeah. And of course, when you study memory, everybody, and just to be clear, there's many different kinds of memory. And spider magnet. I think that lets me climb on the blue walls. There are many different kinds of memory, some are easier to study than others, right? So one of the areas that we work in is autobiographical memory, which is like your life story, your narrative about your personal past. And that necessarily means that what we're probing is idiosyncratic. Everybody's got their own story, and everybody has their own way of telling that story. And that makes it actually quite challenging. I just went circle. Quite challenging to, think about whether or not what you're picking up on is unique to this individual person, or is it something that is true of all people? And it's messy at times, and it's messy because of the humans.
So, does he work with a model system? No, he works with humans.
Yeah.
I don't do humans.
Yeah.
Oh no, I do not envy the variability, because literally day-to-day variability is non-trivial.
Yep. You got that right.
Rosalind also wants to know, do you use any controls in your in vivo experiments? If so, which constitutes a control human?
Well, it depends on the nature of the
That guy they have in the jar.
Yeah.
There's no stimuli whatsoever.
Yeah, we keep him in a float tank. He's one of those precogs from, what was that movie called?
Minority Report?
Minority Report, yeah. We just got a bunch of precogs in float tanks.
Invoked when necessary.
Yeah. No, really though, for imaging work, a lot of it is within subject. So the manipulations are done within subject. But then in lesion studies, or working with special populations, patients, for example, there we would have cognitively, neurologically healthy participants as controls.
Cuddle Puppies follow-up. Mark Zuckerberg seems like a control human. Yeah, he's totally human.
Yeah.
Not a robot at all.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say any different online.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. This has all been recorded. That's one thing that's slightly terrifying. There are enough YouTube videos of me from this chat that I can say anything at this point.
Yeah.
Play any game. And
Yeah.
it doesn't take much. 3 hours of audio is probably enough to reproduce us.
Oh yeah. I think that there are examples of doing that with considerably less.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a scary prospect too, right? You think about it through there's many different lenses, but one that should be obvious is you're a grandparent or something, and you get a phone call from your granddaughter saying, "Help! I'm in trouble. I got I'm in this situation. My car broke down.
I need bail.
I need bail."
Yep.
Who's gonna that's a shush.
How do you double check that?
Yeah. Let's see. I think you gotta lure these things out. Yes.
So is it location-based achievement, or is it score-based? Like in terms of the upgrades and things like that?
You have to defeat these. So each level has a thing called an Emmy. That was that little robot that was chasing me.
Mm-hmm.
When you defeat an Emmy, that unlocks a new power. This is a boss of some sort. That will unlock a new power. I'm going to embarrass myself here. Actually, I feel like I've been doing better than I expected.
No, you've been doing great. It's fun to watch. You made progress, at least as far as I can tell.
I think there's a... Oh yeah, it's weird. Like, these things just kind of come back to you. To me, anyway.
Yeah.
I thought this would be...
We're talking long-term memory, right?
Yeah.
This is written in your DNA.
Yeah, a lot of this, though, it's interesting. This feels like more procedural to me, not the kind of memory that you would be consciously aware of. A lot of this is my fingers are doing the work without me thinking much about it.
Huh.
So that's a good example of how memory systems are sort of... there are many different memory systems, some that we are consciously aware of and some that we are not. And this is probably blending the two. So now I think I have to hit that orb or ball on its tail.
That's an interesting mechanic.
It's mostly just spamming, I think.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
Oh, Rosalind's has a question. Do you use any mathematical modeling in your work? Oh no. Talked about that one a bit
Yeah.
earlier.
Not, I don't. However, that doesn't mean that our hypotheses and our approach to research isn't informed by that approach. So we do, in fact, allow a lot of computational models and the data that come out of them to guide a lot of our thinking. But not strictly. And it's funny, actually, if I can preempt some of the questions that Ken and I had discussed as sort of the canned questions. One of them was, if you could, if you could go back and start grad school over, what might you do differently? And one thing that I would probably do differently is develop some expertise around computational modeling, right? Which of course would involve some more math than what I currently do.
I mean, you need one good postdoc to do that, right? To teach you.
Yeah, or a sabbatical.
Or a sabbatical, yeah.
I get this.
Nice.
Whoops.
All right, we should put up a prediction. Which one do you want to do?
Let's start with at the top. The capacity limit question.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put up a prediction right now. It gives you guys the opportunity to answer a science question that my guest has prepared for you. And so, yeah, Twitch usually uses predictions for, will Chris beat this game in under 2 minutes or whatever the time might be. But on this stream, we ask you guys the question. So we're going to pop up a question right now related to Chris's expertise. He wrote questions ahead of time. You have to answer these based on your knowledge. Don't Google it. Don't chat GPT. You're on Ask a Scientist Gaming Honor Code. The question is, long-term memory has capacity limits. True or false? Any context we need to add? I think that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. So in other
long-term
words,
memory, we'll say.
Yeah, human long-term memory. Is there a limit to how much you can remember?
So long-term memory has capacity limits, true or false? And if you guys haven't been on Twitch before, click the predict button at the top of your chat, and then you can pick either of the answers, and you can put as many of your standard internet units, these arbitrary internet unit points that we have for our channel. And if you're not following, click follow. You get 300 of those internet units to spend or gamble on these questions. You can also make us take a drink. You can unlock emotes. You can request factoids, whatever it might be, while Chris takes on this boss. How many phases? So we've got through the invisible phase.
I don't remember. I'm not sure I remember. I think that, yes, so if you beat this boss, what it unlocks is the ability to use this cloaking device so that those robots, when they're chasing you, can't so easily find you.
Yeah.
I think that's what it does.
Cuddle puppy. I heard the answer a long time ago, but I had to delete it from my memory because my brain ran out of capacity.
Here we go.
Spoilers. All right, long-term memory has capacity limits. True or false? 30 seconds left. Put your answers in there now. Depending on your degree of confidence, put however many internet units you want on the line. Note they are useless outside of the stream, but pride will take you very far in this life.
Funny, when I started grad school, the very first time that I went into an MRI scanner for research purposes, I thought I was smart. The MR tech said, "Do you have any metal in your body?" And this was for a study on memory. And I said, "Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember," which is not funny because you don't want to go into an MRI scanner with metal in
I
your
was going to
body.
say, there's somebody recently got choked to death, right? They had
Oh, I did not hear that.
Necklace. It was pretty recent, like in the last week.
Oh, that's, yeah. You're supposed to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen.
But you're the smart ass.
Yeah, yeah.
You are the patient you hate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, Chris, long-term memory has capacity limits, true or false?
That is false. To our knowledge, there is no capacity limit to long-term memory, and that is not the case for working memory, right? When we think about working memory, we're talking about, the information that you're holding in mind, in your conscious mind to manipulate, to solve some task. But long-term memory, when we think about, an entire lifetime of experience, we don't really have any evidence to suggest that there is a capacity limit, meaning that in principle, we could remember everything, although forgetting is adaptive. It's important that we don't remember everything. And it's also a hard question to answer empirically because at a certain level, you have to be able to exhaustively probe somebody's memory for their entire life, which you can't easily do. You know, I have actually thought about, you know, just as a lark, like, could I remember everything that's ever happened to me? I haven't actually tried to answer that question because it would take too long, but to our knowledge, yeah, there's no limit to how much you can remember.
There are a few people that uniquely remember like every day, right? Like Gina Davis, I think she's one of them.
She is, yeah. Yep.
There's a handful of these people on Earth, right? It's very rare.
It's very rare, and you know, one of the explanations that people have provided for why it's important to forget is because imagine that you have this mental storehouse with all of these experiences, a lifetime of experiences packed away. It becomes computationally not trivial to try to retrieve any given memory at a moment in time, right? So you get this sort of clutter. But the amazing thing about people that have what we call highly superior autobiographical memory is they don't have that problem. You know, they're able to retrieve that information every bit as easily as you and I are, despite the fact that they have so much more seemingly to draw on. So, yeah, it's pretty wild. That is not my experience. I feel like I have good memory, but nothing like that.
Yeah. No, that's a blessing and a curse, I imagine.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations. Long-term memory has a capacity limit. That is false, at least as far as we know right now. So congratulations to those of you that said false. A 4.33 to 1 payout. Congratulations on your standard internet units. Yeah, useless outside the channel, but enjoy them in the channel. So yeah, unlock your emails, request factoids, make us drink alcohol, whatever. We're here to celebrate. Congratulations.
What was the payout ratio there?
It's 4.33 to 1.
And is that based on the betting?
So it's based on, not the number of people that bet, but the amount they bet. It's a degree of confidence, which is,
So what does that suggest? That everybody was on the same page, or?
No, it says those that said false, those that said true bet much more than those that said false. And so they were less confident in false, but the dark horse answer ended up being the right one.
Got it.
So congratulations, you took a chance. So Calm Down Bronco has a follow-up question. Is there an upper limit to storage in the human brain in terms of bytes? And so when I think about this, we have a certain number of neurons, right? So you can translate that to a 1 or 0. It's not that simple, but if you did that math, is there a peak?
That's an interesting question. Presumably there would be, right? So the constraint is that, as you say, there is a finite number of connections that can be established between neurons in the brain. And that is where our memories live and where information is processed. So from an information theoretic perspective, I guess there may well be a limit, and that would relate to the fact that there are only so many connections that can be established and then maintained, importantly, right? So if a given connection between 2 or more neurons isn't reinforced periodically, that information may well be lost. I guess I beat this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but to answer the question directly, no, I don't know that we understand what that limit would be.
I mean, I guess we don't fully understand the mechanism of storage, right? At least complex memories.
Yeah. It's interesting. We understand how memories are stored at multiple different levels. So at molecular level, synaptic strengthening, the way that 2 neurons become more tightly coupled, or the connections between them become stronger, those neurons are more likely to fire together if they've already fired together in the past. And at a systems level, we have a reasonably good understanding of how memories are stored. Not great, but reasonably good. But what we don't know is how to traverse those different levels of explanation, right? So how do you scale up from a molecular level to cellular to systems? That's a big mystery. So, and I don't know, I think I have to go invisible. I don't know that until we have clarity around that point. Can I go through here? It's not. That we'd be able to satisfactorily answer that question.
That's intriguing. So you mentioned, if you don't reinforce the pathway, it tends to deteriorate. Is that just like cleanup mechanism in the brain?
Yeah, I mean that's something that you see during development pretty prominently, right? So you have neural connections that are getting pruned during your early years if those connections are not reinforced. If their intrinsic connectivity is not reinforced by experience. So those will be pruned. Now, that's sort of viewing the brain and learning through a neocortical lens, so the wrinkly part of your brain. There are structures in the brain that support learning and memory based on single shot experience, right? So, I was talking about autobiographical memory. You only get one crack at encoding.
I was going to say they're not reinforcing that, right?
Correct. Yeah. So, well, actually, let me qualify that. There's a structure that is sort of sits between neocortex and subcortex called the hippocampus. You might remember Molly having talked about that at some length. The hippocampus does this really cool thing. It's highly plastic in terms of its coding properties. That's what allows you to rapidly learn new things. But that plasticity is both a feature and a bug, right? If you think about it, a system that is, I don't know where to go. A system that is like well suited for that kind of single shot learning is also going to be subject to the effects of interference to the extent that two experiences are similar to one another or related to each other. So this really cool thing happens, which is that, mostly while you're sleeping, and the evidence for this in humans is kind of limited, but we're starting to see more evidence that supports this view. But certainly in rodents and non-human primates, what you can see is that the hippocampus, after you've learned something new or done something new, will rapidly and repeatedly replay the pattern of activity that was evoked during the learning episode. And that largely happens during sleep, specifically slow wave sleep. Although it can also happen during restful wake periods. I don't know where I'm supposed to go here.
So it's not conscious reinforcement.
Yeah, and it's a good question whether or not you become consciously aware of those bouts of replay, right? So the hippocampus is reactivating these memory traces, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're becoming consciously aware of it. People could speculate and say, well, maybe that's what dictates the content of our dreams, but I don't think we have any evidence that really supports that interpretation. I have no idea.
So you're saying I can learn while I sleep?
Oh yeah,
just fall asleep on a book. Osmosis didn't work out.
It's funny. In Canada, we don't need to say. In Canada, I felt like every classroom. I grew up in Canada. Every classroom had a picture of Garfield with a stack of books tied to the side of his head, and it said "Learning by Osmosis." But I haven't seen that here. My kids haven't reported seeing that here.
It was a different time then.
Yeah.
Rosalind, classic book under the pillow method, learning by diffusion. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Supported by evidence, as posted by Garfield. All right. Sorry. Follow-up question. Rosalind, isn't the hippocampus the only place where human neural stem cells work? I vaguely remember something like that.
It's not the only place. There are a handful of structures in the brain that throughout your adult life will continue to generate new neurons. So we call that neurogenesis. Again, the hippocampus is not the only structure, but it is one of the structures that continues, to generate new neurons. And there's a few things you can do to actually upregulate that, not directly, but there's a lot of work showing that aerobic exercise can actually increase the size of the hippocampus, which is kind of neat. And I think it's understood now that the mechanism by which that happens is that the aerobic exercise produces some sort of one of the byproducts, off products of it, is something that promotes the survival of new neurons. Because otherwise, those new neurons their most likely fate is not to be integrated and just die. But exercise is one thing aerobic exercise specifically, that can promote the survival of those new neurons.
It's interesting. Another benefit of working out.
Yeah, and I forget what the mechanism is there, but yeah.
That's fun. All right, Calm Down Bronco wants to know, are there differences in mechanism in which we store short-term versus long-term memory? Mechanism can mean a lot of things here.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. I'll maybe, oh gosh. Yes.
You broke him, Calm Down Bronco. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. Chris was not ready for this.
Yeah. There certainly are differences. The reason I'm sort of hesitating here is because there's some interesting backstory. You know, in early days when you... Where on earth am I? There was a time when the prevailing view was that working memories were really just active long-term memories, right? So you can think of long-term memories as, for the most part, being in a state of dormancy. And then when we retrieve them, they sort of bubble up to the surface into our conscious mind, and they enter the realm of working memory. That's probably not strictly true. It seems like there's a working memory system that is frontally mediated. So one difference we can draw out between long-term and short-term memory is that most of the evidence suggests that the majority of heavy lifting that supports working memory is mediated by prefrontal cortex, whereas long-term memory seems to be more of a dance that plays out between prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, as well as other sensory systems and more posterior parts of the brain. So yeah, that's a long way of saying that that's a super messy topic, and yes, there are differences, and there's a lot of debate that's still playing out to try to articulate what those differences are. Yeah, that's probably not the most satisfactory answer, but
so functional MRI, you can see a regional difference in short-term and long-term memory?
Yeah, for the most part, although they can look very similar, you know, that really comes down more to a question of like thinking about the kind of tasks that you're using. Right?
I see.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Is that, you know, one interesting historical note, there was a long time where I have no earthly idea where I'm supposed to go. There was a long time where it's kind of fun just to run around anyway.
Yeah.
Where there was a long time when
and yeah, if you get sick of playing, we can transition to games at any time. So you're in the driver's seat wherever you want to go.
Well, maybe I've lost my train of thought actually completely because I'm trying to dual task, which is a bit of a working memory nightmare.
That's why we brought you on.
Yeah. We were talking about working memory.
Yeah,
failure of working memory.
Short-term versus long-term memory, functional MRI, potentially seeing differences. Depends on the task.
Depends on the task. I'm having a hard time animating.
We'll check out the YouTube video later. You'll have to forgive us.
Yeah.
It's a challenge gaming while talking.
Yeah.
I mean, presumably you practice with your kids though, right? They converse enough while playing.
Yes. All the time. It's even if my son is playing, he doesn't, you know, he likes to play games that are far too complicated for him. So every 5 minutes, it's dad, 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 I need help with this. Dad, 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 you know, which is cute. Gosh, I am completely lost in this game right now. That's probably for the best.
Such a Dramatic death scene.
Mhm.
So it continues from your save point then? Is that the...
I think it'll, yes. Well, hopefully, because maybe I would benefit from going back in time a little bit. Oh, there's a map. I should be using the map. That's what I should do.
No worries. All right, Rosalind wants to know. Oh, I'm going to modify your question, Rosalind, because that's the one we like to do. Unlimited funding, no moral qualms. What research would you do? You could have the Bubble Boy control experiment. You could.
Yeah.
The precogs.
Yeah. My view on brain science, even though most of what I do these days is imaging based, is that our most impactful and important discoveries have come through single case studies of people that have brain damage. Now, the problem with that approach is that nature is messy, right? So when somebody sustains a brain injury, it's not typically going to be particularly clean and focal, right? So if you're trying to figure out the function of a particular part of the brain, and nature gives you an individual, unfortunate as it is for them, who has brain damage that is kind of diffuse and encompasses multiple different brain regions, it becomes very difficult to understand through a causal lens, like what that region does. So I think no moral qualms, no reservations, no, I think it would be incredibly revealing to very meticulously remove discrete parts of the brain and one at a time and in all possible permutations to figure out, what are their functional roles.
Yeah.
Of course you can't do this, obviously. But this is coming back to computational modeling. In principle, if we can develop a good enough computational model of the brain and all of its output, you could, in principle, run this experiment just by knocking out layers of your model.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Back where I was, and this is not where I need to be. He's hot. Yeah, I'm just going to get roasted in this lava.
Very diplomatic and scientific way of saying I want to give people specific brain damage and see what happens.
Yeah.
I want to poke holes in brains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I love the thought experiment though, because like that would answer so many questions, right? It's just the pure empirical.
Yep.
Here's what breaks. Here's what stays.
Yep. And the beauty of it, again, let's put moral reservation aside. The beauty of it, I got to go back to their land, is that, it would fill some gaps. I would point to, in memory science, there's a very famous patient who goes by the initials HM. And HM was the first documented case of somebody who had, to treat epilepsy, a bilateral resection. So the surgeon went in and removed parts of the brain, a bilateral resection, so in the left and right hemisphere, that included the hippocampus almost in its entirety. And nobody really knew what would happen. They certainly didn't anticipate that he would never form a new memory again for the remainder of his life. So he was profoundly amnesic. And that's what sort of resulted in this spotlight shining on the hippocampus for the better part of the last 70 years. And the amazing thing was that years later, the assumptions that were being made about HM's surgical resection were based on the drawings that the surgeon generated. Years later, after he had died and there was a post-mortem examination, one of the interesting discoveries was that actually he still had a fair bit of his hippocampus intact, which to some degree undermined a lot of the story that had been built up over all of those years. Now, you could ask the question of what it means to be intact, structurally intact, but functionally was it intact? You know, that's a very different question. If the
Interesting.
system is compromised, you know, is there reason to believe that it would still function and serve as a good model for healthy brain function? We don't really know.
I mean, so contrasting the removal of chunks and damage and loss of function, there are examples of, like, I don't know, damage-induced savants where somebody gets head trauma and all of a sudden they can, like, do math really well.
Yeah.
Like, where does that come from? I guess it's not well understood, but
It's not well understood. I'll point to a specific case study that, you know, shines a little bit of light on this. It was somehow I feel like I'm supposed to, oh, maybe I have to shoot the floor? No. Somebody who,
Nintendo Power phone call. That's all it takes.
yeah. Yeah. He didn't lead an artistic life. That much was certain about this individual.
Yeah.
And he developed frontotemporal dementia, which does many things, but one of the things that it does is compromises the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex is really important for things like cognitive control. And gosh, I am hopelessly lost. One of the ways in which cognitive control supports adaptive behavior is through inhibitory means, right? So suppressing reflexive or stimulus-driven responses. And amazingly, this person, even though his brain was betraying him and he had developed dementia that was eventually going to, you know, end his life, because the systems that were compromised were important for inhibitory control, suddenly he felt compelled to pick up a paintbrush and take up art. And it turned out he was a very talented artist. And that actually helped him achieve a certain level of meaning toward the end of his life, which is, you know, kind of, I suppose, in line with what you're talking. Gosh,
Yeah.
maybe.
Just like, I'm not going to overthink it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, I don't want to trivialize it, but in a way, it's a little bit like being intoxicated, right?
Yeah.
Where, you know, yeah, I'm just gonna.
Cuts down inhibition. And
Yep.
That's pretty amazing.
Well, how long have we been playing this game?
So we're at about 1 hour. So if you want to transition now,
Yeah, I feel like I need to devote more attention than I can to figure out where to go here, because I'm just running in circles, and presumably people watching this are like, is he gonna go back there again?
no worries. All right, we can go to hockey. We can go to Star Fox, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Why don't we do Celeste?
Celeste. All right.
Yeah. Oh, I can control that here.
Yeah, I'll transition so they don't see your home screen,
Oh, it's okay.
just in case
Yeah.
they want to look up your profile and stalk you.
Yeah. My profile is always changing because my kids are forever. They think it's cute to give me a new
News.
little character, whatever they're called.
Yeah. What are they? Me's?
Me. Yeah. Yeah. I keep getting older when they make them.
Me too. So it goes.
Yeah.
Has white hair now.
Yeah. So Celeste is a cute little game. It's like one of these side-scroller games. The mechanics are very simple. You can jump, and you can jump fast. And if I remember correctly, that's all you can do. And it's the story, as best I remember, is about this girl, Madeline, who needs to climb a mountain for some reason. I think she wants to go on some sort of adventure. And again, it's just 2 buttons. You can jump, and you can jump fast. And the game is near impossible. Near impossible. The first time that I played through this, it keeps track of your deaths, sort of like a badge of honor, and I had 3,000 deaths.
That was 3,000 deaths to beat it?
3,000 even, yes, to beat it.
Wow.
And it's got these 8-bit graphics, and it has really beautiful music. You could be at work and listen to this soundtrack without any problem at all. But it has the sort of simplicity that I like in a game.
All right, so what's your guess of speedrun time for Celeste?
17 minutes.
It is 24 minutes and 51 seconds.
Okay, so I'm in the ballpark.
It's any percent.
I think when we started it, it said that it took me 12 hours to beat it.
This game is a nice transition to the retro games too, because it's pixel art.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
like classic side scroller with some additional aesthetics.
yeah.
Yeah, the speedruns on this are pretty spectacular.
Have you seen them?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
the jump and then the speed bursts, they use that so meticulously.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to. There are far more degrees of freedom than there would be on Super Mario Brothers. So there's a lot of ways you could improve and optimize things. Of course, you can do that with Mario, but people have been doing that to the point of like individual frames, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Super Mario 1, that's one I follow pretty meticulously. They are basically 0.3 of a second away from a perfect run.
How do you know, like what?
So they have the tool assisted speed run where you perfectly execute, and they've basically mimicked that up to 8.4 up to the final level. And so people have done perfect 8.4s, but not both of those in the same run.
Okay.
And so within the next 5 years, we will probably see, at least as far as we know, a perfect Mario run.
That assumes though that there won't be other
New discoveries. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things you say in speedrunning, but that game it's been so optimized. So the tool-assisted speedrun hasn't changed in like 15 years. So they haven't really discovered, because there are certain limits to what you can gain on certain things.
Yep.
Or a cosmic bit flip, exactly.
Bit flip.
I don't know how true this is, but there's at least one glitch somebody saw. I think it was in like Mario 64 or something, that eventually they couldn't reproduce it. They decided it was like a neutrino hitting the right transistor at the right time, because it can't be reproduced.
You know, that reminds me, since I'm here to play games, but also talk about memory, of the Mandela effect. Are you familiar with the Mandela effect?
Yep.
Yeah. This idea that there can be large numbers of people, not inconsequential numbers of people, who have a shared memory for something from their childhood or earlier years, and it turns out just not to be true, right? So it's called the Mandela effect because there is a large number of people that claim to remember having seen Nelson Mandela's funeral on television far before he had actually died.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those. Like, does the Monopoly guy have a monocle? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Does Pikachu have black end of the tail?
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. And it's likely the case that there's not some grand conspiracy, some sort of bizarre psyop centered on the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just that we don't really attend to these things, right? And this is one of the things that I thought would be. Oh, never mind. I don't want to give away one of our predictions.
You can. We have plenty.
Okay.
In fact, we should do one at some point. Do one now?
Yeah, why don't we do this one then? Because it sort of touches on what I was about to say.
All right, we're going to throw up another prediction. If you guys aren't following us, click the follow button, get your standard internet units. We got another true-false question coming up for you guys. We're going to give you 2 minutes to answer this question. Memories are literal reproductions of past. So we're again talking about human memory, presumably.
Yes, human memory. Yep. I guess.
Oh wow, you just died. Wow.
Yeah.
That's one try.
The cool thing about this game is that you have these very satisfying, like when you die, you don't have to wait for anything. You just come back right where you were. This may be frustrating for viewers because people will get stuck on these moments.
I mean,
and they're probably saying, "Press it now, press it."
This is why I play Mario Maker. I love the game because like there are really hard levels, like super advanced shell jumps, multiple shell jumps, all sorts of crazy stuff. But you literally just play it over and over again until you execute perfectly. So no, I respect it. All right, memories are literal reproductions of the past. You guys have 1 minute. Put your predictions in there. Click the predict button. Bet your internet units accordingly. Yeah, or just guess. It's totally up to you, or what you've learned from Chris's gameplay, what the answer to this question is. I don't know. Find some way to answer it.
Okay, now I gotta puzzle out how to get across here.
How many levels are in this game? There's a lot.
Yeah, I think there might be 12 or so, but each one is quite expansive. And you can get a lot of gameplay out of this little game. I think this game only costs like $10. Oh. Definitely doing something wrong.
That's the speed strat right there. Just skip the obstacle. Go.
Yeah.
All right, 10 seconds to get your bets in right now. Memories are literal reproductions of the past, true or false?
What do I need to do here? Somehow I gotta get that to...
All right,
Ooh.
Chris, what is the answer? Memories are literal reproductions of the past, true or false?
That is definitely false. Memories are... Did everybody win on
Almost.
that
We
one?
had a dark horse bet on
Yeah.
true, because that would have been a huge 20-1 payout.
Yeah, that would have been a good pick. Yeah,
The
I
answer
think,
is false.
yeah, the answer is definitely false. So, and this has relevance for what we were just talking about with the Mandela effect. Even though, if I ask you, who's ever watching, to really think about one of your most vivid moments that you can re-experience from the past, you know, a precious moment with your grandmother or with your sibling or whatever it might be, it's like it comes to life in your mind, right? It's almost, you have the feeling that you're watching this as
Super
though
vivid,
it's
high
like,
res.
yeah, exactly. But the data that we have on this actually tells us pretty plainly that memory is a constructive process, meaning that we are not literally replaying some video in our mind's eye, nor are we actually sort of reactivating the narrative exactly as it happens. Rather, we are constructing, given the knowledge that we have about ourselves, given the knowledge we have about our lives, we are constructing what we think likely happened. So that has some interesting consequences. One of the consequences is that, oh, I just crushed her.
Smush.
Yeah.
Consequences indeed.
One of the consequences is that because memory is this constructive process, and you're not just reactivating this literal. Do I even need to go through here? I don't think I need to actually do this. This is to collect a strawberry, which I'm not into, only because it's unnecessarily difficult.
Don't be a hero.
Yeah. But that means that every time that you reactivate a memory, it is going to be influenced by your current state, by your current way of thinking. And after you are finished sort of working with that memory, you're putting it back into some dormant state, it is now going to some degree, be re-encoded or reconsolidated in a manner that reflects whatever was going on at the time of retrieval. So that memory is this dynamic thing that's changing over time, which again takes away from that literal way of thinking about it, because you're just building up what you think happened. That worked out well. Rather than just replaying what actually did happen. Oh. Not all deaths are equally glorious. Some are just downright.
You just forget the jump button and that happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad 95% of them got that one.
Yeah, no, that's good. And the wrong answers were dark horse bets. Cuddle Puppy said, my prediction rate would be much higher if it weren't for pot odds. Because, I mean, it's worth putting 10 points towards the dark horse bet.
Yeah.
Just in case you get a 20-1 payout.
Yeah.
Lori, welcome back. It's good to hear from you. Thank you for joining us. Our drink tonight, we're doing a classic Canadian Caesar, or Canadian Caesar. I don't know what you call it, but
just a Caesar.
Just a Caesar.
I think some people do call it. Some people will call it a bloody Caesar. For me, that's a little too much imagery for my taste.
Too brute.
Yeah, the Caesar is a drink that all Canadians will know.
So explain the hodgepodge list that goes into this drink.
Well, there is no widely agreed upon set of ingredients. Everybody will make a Caesar in a different way. But the essentials, the must-have components would be clamato juice, which is tomato juice mixed with clam juice. So it's super salty. And then Tabasco sauce, and I'm going to butcher this one, but Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
Some brine from either a jar of olives or pickles, lime, and then often you'll put celery salt on the rim. So it is salty.
There are some versions you add pepper, you add salt, barbecue sauce I found on one of them.
Yeah. And often people will drink it the morning after drinking. It's one of like the hair of the dog type things.
Yeah.
It's also got all your vitamins and nutrients. It's kind of like eating a bowl of cereal with, not cereal, soup, but with vodka in it.
But you can get this at a restaurant.
Yes, most definitely. If you went into any restaurant or bar in Canada, they would know exactly what you're asking for. There'd be no ambiguity.
So yeah, there it is, Lori. So it's a glorified Bloody Mary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bloody Mary with some bonus stuff. It's an intriguing drink. So cheers to everyone. Hopefully you have a drink in hand, enjoying it. In fact, Reese's Pieces, I owe you take a drink. So Chris, cheers. Thank you for joining me.
Cheers.
Thank you for saying yes to this.
Of course.
Hanging out, playing some Celeste, drinking some a Caesar.
A Caesar. Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys have questions for Chris, throw those in chat. We're happy to do them. Lori said we need to make one of those for Sherko. One of our professors, Rob Sherko, joined our department, 2-3 years ago? He's actually from Windsor.
Oh, I am from Essex, which is about 20 minutes away by car from Windsor.
Yeah, so he was a professor at Windsor for like 15 years or something like that.
Interesting.
So
yeah, that's where I completed my undergrad degree.
Yeah. So,
Windsor is an interesting city, for those who don't know, unsolicited. It is a border city, so right across the border from Detroit, separated from Michigan by the Detroit River. And I guess if you're from the South, you may not know this, but in Canada, each province has its own legal drinking age. In Ontario, it's 19. Of course, in Michigan, it's 21. So as soon as all of these kids turn 19 from Michigan, they cross the border almost immediately. And when I used to live in Windsor, it was almost like a spectator sport. I would go, I wasn't like a person that went to the bars or anything like that, but I would go when the bar was closing at like 2:30 and just watch. Just watch them, spill out of the bar.
Line.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, those kids getting wrecked.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and there's always been this bizarre belief that like Canadian beer is stronger, has higher alcohol by volume than American beer, but that's not true.
Interesting.
I
honestly had never heard that.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing that they talk about at the border.
It's when they're recounting their stories after the fact.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault. It was all that.
Yeah, the Canadians.
Somehow I got to get.
I mean, what's the go-to beer in Canada?
It's a regional. It'll depend on what region you're from. So, because there's a lot of different brewers in each province. In Ontario, I don't know. It depends on what age you are too. So for a lot of people, it would be Labatt 50. That's like a blue collar, classic standard kind of beer made in London, Ontario, which is where the University of Western Ontario is. So that one's pretty popular. My wife is from New Brunswick, out on the East Coast. They have very different tastes out there. There they would drink probably Moosehead or this really awful beer called Alpine Lager.
Lori suggested Molson.
Molson is, they make many different kinds of beer. Molson Canadian is sort of like the Canadian equivalent of like Budweiser or something like that. And Molson does make some good beers, but really most of the good beer is going to come from Quebec. There's a lot of good breweries in Quebec. And how do I get down there?
Cuddle Puppy had a follow-up to your bar watching at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Closing Time by Semisonic. It's probably playing constantly. I mean, that was undergrad, right? That was the go-to.
Yeah. Yeah, that was part of it, certainly. And there was a casino in Windsor too, so you wouldn't just have people that were drunk. You'd have people that were drunk and agitated because they lost all their money.
Thus started my journey into psychology.
Yeah, exactly.
That is amazing. All right, we finished up the Caesar. Should I go grab some gin? We'll do some gin
Yeah,
and
sure.
tonics.
Gin and tonic would be good. Yeah.
Yeah, just because we're not going to mix another one. So
Okay.
I should probably give you a question before we go. All right. Hop Down Bronco wants to know, what are some of the molecular players involved in memory storage? I've heard CAMK2 is very important,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's just because it's important for basically everything. So there are specific molecular things
Yeah.
to memory storage.
Well, that's not. It's a good question. It's not one that I think about in my own research. So I'm not 100% sure that I can provide a good answer to that question. Only because we deal in systems neuroscience, so we don't think a lot about molecules. Not because they're not important, it's just not really a prominent part of our research. So, yeah, there are quite a few. EL2 alpha is coming to mind, although I'm probably getting that wrong. So, how do I get through this? Yeah, I don't have a good answer for that, to be honest, regrettably. I don't know where the chat is. Well, Ken is gone. Oh, Molson. Yeah, switch drinks. Yuck. Yuck. No, well, I disagree. One of the comments, as best I can tell, is that we should switch drinks because that doesn't sound very appetizing, I guess.
I like it. I get to experience a diverse set of drinks here.
Yeah.
I had mead for the first time on stream. It's kind of fun.
Mead. Oh, yeah. I've got a friend that likes to drink mead. I don't quite get it.
Central Minnesota is very Swedish Norwegian ancestry, and my Hansen obviously is of that vein.
Yeah.
But I'll have you pour whatever.
Okay, yeah, I don't have a good answer for the question that was asked, simply because we don't, in my lab, we don't deal in it at that level. I mean, we are thinking about things at the systems level, which is quite different.
I'll give you a blanket answer for that question. Water, H2O, important for everything.
You can never.
All biology stops functioning while water is absent. In fact, if you change H2O with D2O, heavy water, humans also die.
Oh.
Yeah, if you drink like 2 liters of D2O, you will actually, it's fatal. It slows down all the chemistry in your body to the point where you can't function anymore.
Well, that's a fun fact.
Yeah, exactly. There's an LD50 for deuterated water.
Huh.
Laurie Hansen, are you feeling under the weather? I'm recovering from a cold. My nose is still stuffy, but I'm like, it was like 3 or 4 days ago I get hit hard. Your kids are old enough now, but mine are like still like preschool, and there's just a cesspool of disease. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, are they in public school?
Yeah.
They'll be going back soon, and
Yep.
yeah, certainly with our oldest, she'll be 12 soon, so that means that she reliably washes her hands and does all the things that you're supposed to do. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go in this game either. I remembered this game as being fairly linear, but it's not proving to be that.
It's one of those doing it while talking is a different game entirely.
Yeah.
Don't let metal bands hear about heavy water. They'll refuse to drink regular water after that. Well, we'll all learn something then.
Oh, I think this is.
These are how to clear you out.
Some people put horseradish in it, so that would have actually done the trick, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, I saw that horseradish. That was not on your list, so I did not grab it.
Yeah, that's not to my taste.
Like, throw some olives in there, and whatever, yeah.
I have to go down, I see. There we go.
Like, lines up nicely with polar bearing, the ice water diving.
Yeah. My kids don't like doing that, but I do. I'm not one of these folks that.
So you were still in Canada, though. Your kids had an experience in Canada life, right?
Yeah. Although my son doesn't remember it. I'm not one of these folks that, like, thinks there are real health benefits to swimming in cold water. I think it's more about mental toughness. So I like to have them go swimming in the winter here.
Yeah.
And when we moved here, people in our apartment complex, when we first got here, couldn't believe that I was going in the pool on, like, Christmas Day.
Yeah.
This lunatic doing, but...
I don't know. There's something to be said about that rush, because I did a lot of sports, so ice baths, like full submersion ice baths, like that was part of the exercise, and it wakes you up, it clears your head. It's one of those fight or flight responses, I'm sure, but
yeah. So in this game, if you collect these cassettes, it unlocks the level in reverse, I think. Although, to be honest, I don't think I've ever gotten one of these before, so I really am lost.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So Lori said, I'm digging the music to this game.
Yeah.
It has a good soundtrack.
It has a very good soundtrack.
I remember this won a lot of awards. Both music, gameplay, everything.
Pretty sure I went through here.
Pedal Puppy. This soundtrack sounds relevant to the field of cognitive neuroscience.
Yeah.
You want to speak for the field on their music tastes?
Not for the field. I'll speak for my own tastes. They're pretty eclectic. Yeah, I sad to see that there'll be no more Black Sabbath.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
I saw clips from his show like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, he was like propped up. It was like Weekend at Bernie's, but he was still belting it. Like he was still there. Is that too soon?
I don't think the Prince of Darkness would care.
No, exactly. He'd laugh about it. But I guess it did the most fundraising for any concert ever.
I think that's true.
Which is pretty amazing. So good on him. And honestly, if you're gonna go out, like that's your life, I get it.
Yep. She can only hang on to the wall for so long.
That's interesting. You can dash through those things.
I've already been through here. Yeah. Wow.
All right. Lori has requested a factoid. Do you have a knowledge bomb you'd like to drop on the audience?
Yeah. One of the things that we typically think about when we think about memory is the past, right? Memory is about the past. And I've suggested to here that is true. So it's interesting, though, if we think about the function of memory, it's actually not really about the past, right? It's not just so we can re-experience the past. It's so that we can leverage our prior experiences to engage in more adaptive behavior now. So memory is actually about the future. So the fun fact, although not so fun for the people that have to live this way, is that people that have amnesia, not only can they not remember their past, but they can't imagine a self-relevant future either. So if you ask them, what are you doing tomorrow? People with memory disorders are very crafty. They know they have a problem, and they know that it is socially a little bit awkward. So they're very good at coming up with sort of ways around these kinds of questions. But if you ask somebody that has hippocampal amnesia, what are you going to do tomorrow? They'll say, I guess I never thought about tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you really probe them and push them, they'll say, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, right? I'm here now, but they have a not near impossible, but very difficult time imagining themselves in the future. It doesn't mean they can't simulate things. It just means that they can't simulate a future in which they are an agent that is interacting with the world, which is pretty wild.
Because they just have no intellectual framework to rest that upon.
Correct. Yeah. So if you think about, like, how would you simulate a future scenario? Well, you draw on your memory, right?
What happened in the past.
And not only would you draw on your memory, but to simulate that future, but I'm just going in circles. But you would also draw on your identity as an individual, right? What would I do? What am I likely, again, thinking about this through a constructive lens, like I mentioned before, what would I do? Well, if you don't have intact episodic memory, you don't have a very robust sense of who you are or what you would do in any given situation. Yeah. So it's just I think it's important to keep in mind that memory, even though we experience it as a thing about as something about the past, functionally it's about the future. Yeah, which is something I think that we don't I think we understand that, but we don't really consider it based on the our subjective experiences.
Maybe we underappreciate it.
I think I gotta go through here on an angle.
So Lori has a follow-up. Does that track with dementia-related memory loss?
Yes. Individuals, it depends. Well, yes. So it's a good thing that they said, Lori said dementia-related memory loss. Not all forms of dementia are strictly characterized by memory loss, but those that are, how am I going to get through this? Those that are, they lose their sense of themselves, their identity, and they also have a difficult time imagining a self-relevant future. Yeah, it's part of the reason that if you ask older adults, like, how do I get out of this? What's maybe I got to go the other direction? Nope.
Can you do angle through these?
Yes.
Up in the pocket.
Okay.
It's so brutal when it murders you too.
Yep. Yeah, but to answer the question, yes, that tracks with what you see in, for example, Alzheimer's dementia. There's got to be a button press I'm not using. Just gonna mash them all.
All right, Rosalind wants to know, why did you go to academia, not industry, after your PhD? This is something I'm currently debating for myself.
My thinking on it at the time was that it seemed easier to have a stab at academia and then transition to industry if things don't work out to my liking or at all. Whereas going in the opposite direction is quite challenging. I think it's harder to go to industry and then come back to academia for many different reasons. So that was one part of it, just thinking strategically about the sort of possibility space in the future. The other is that I genuinely enjoy my job. It's a fun job. I get to wake up and go to work and try to figure out how the brain supports cognition. There are worse things you could do, and I suppose, the question isn't about would you rather be a landscaper again? There are other jobs that might scratch that itch, but you don't have the same sort of autonomy that eventually comes with academic career paths, where I get to set the research agenda in partnership with the students in my there we go, with the students in my lab. But that is a really so you die if you touch the okay. Can I do that again?
Oh, we're gonna find out. What was it? It was angled, yeah.
So yeah, that was my thinking on it. I love the flexibility. I also had the benefit of having worked in a lab as a grad student, of having a few really close friends who were a couple years ahead of me and getting to watch them go down the paths that they went down, which were ultimately non-academic. One of them has a great job at Adobe. Another used his imaging, the skill set that he developed around neuroimaging to do very different kinds of imaging work in agricultural sectors. And they enjoy their work, to the best of my knowledge, but they would often remark on the fact that they were always only one missed contract away from getting laid off.
It's crazy.
And that is a stressful way to go through life. Not everybody that pursues non-academic paths ends up at Microsoft or Amazon, right? Most of the time, you end up with a small little company, a ragtag team of ambitious and talented people, but you're only you only have as much security as your salespeople can provide for you. And for me, that was something I wanted to avoid. A little bit naively, because now I appreciate that in academia, you still have to to keep the job that you want. You still have to go out and get money.
Yeah.
So you are now doing the work and are doing the sales pitches.
Yeah, like monkey pod on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that was my thinking there, was that you can leave academia at any moment in time and enter the workforce, and not to say that that's easy or to trivialize that. It just there are more avenues to go. It's kind of it feels like it's a one-way street, or swimming, trying to swim downstream versus upstream. You can do it. You can swim upstream, but it's not so easy. Yeah, but there's something to be said for setting your own schedule, setting your own research agenda,
pursuing your own ideas.
Oh, she kills you.
Satisfying.
This gal, if she catches up to you, kills you. So now I'm in a race.
Well, it looks like she's doing the same path as you.
Yeah. I didn't read what she was saying. I think if she catches you, then you're done. What's going on here? Oh, that coin. I think I have to get that coin.
This is very stressful.
Yeah.
But a fun game mechanic. I'm glad they...
Is this going to bring me back up automatically? No. So now I have to get 4 of these things in this room.
Yeah, so we're at 9:30, hour and a half in. We hit the halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone just joining us, Ask a Scientist Gaming, mediocre gameplay, expert science. Our guest today is Dr. Chris Martin. He's an expert in functional MRI, particularly looking at long-term memory storage and recall, cognitive neuroscience in general. He's happy to answer anything short-term, long-term memory. We've dove through a whole bunch of different topics already, but if you guys have any questions, throw them in chat. That doorbell in the game made my dog go crazy. Or your volume might be too loud. That's amazing. That's like early on when like Alexa started and streamers would like be talking to their own Alexa, they'd trigger them on viewers' computers too.
I got 3 of these things, but then she catches up with me. I gotta like take her on a bit of a journey. So I think that the conceit of this game is that Madeline, the main character, is having something of an identity crisis. And this little version of herself, the evil version of herself, is sort of haunting her. I think that's the idea.
Metaphors, what?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oof. That one's tough.
Oh, I need to get up there.
Yeah, 9:30. If you want to get through other games, we should probably transition, but maybe after you beat this. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
The doorbell made my dog go crazy. That's awesome.
This is one of these games where it's always 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Oh boy.
Wow, that's brutal. It's very touchy on where you exit that.
Yes.
How much velocity you get.
Yeah. So you can see now why one would have 3,000 or maybe even more deaths.
They happen so fast.
Yes. Yeah. Why? Oh, because I'm not using the
Woo!
cake.
Nice.
Okay, so, oh, now there are how many of her?
Oh man, this escalated very quickly. This is some kind of crisis going on here. Video game manifestation of multiple personalities.
It's a fantastic game though for sort of thinking about becoming really focused on something and engrossed in it, because you can't really let up. Oh, that was interesting.
Wow.
I got lucky there.
Oh, we'll take that.
Yep.
I don't know. You're tearing it up right now. Get it.
Some of this is, I feel like I'm remembering some of these paths. Although, a good game will sort of lead you, I think, intuitively down the path that you should go down.
Yeah, like intuitive training type stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to intervene. This is stressful.
So each time you get one of those little, I gotta get these things. Each time you get one of those little green diamonds, you get an additional jump in the air.
The quicker tempo music makes you want to play to move more quickly.
Yep.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That little stop you did there was probably a good thing.
Yeah, I think you gotta have them come in the path that you went on. Yeah, it's an intense game.
Any regrets?
Nope.
Choosing this one. Conversing while doing this. The high tempo music, you're right, Laurie. They chose wisely on this one.
You only YOLO. What is it? You only YOLO once. That's my version of it anyway. So the kids know I'm not cool or hip.
See, if we had Julie on Grasso, she'd tell us exactly what about this music makes it high tension.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
like they do ascending triplets or, something
Oh, yeah.
crazy like that. Laurie probably knows. She knows music. What about this makes the tension high?
You said you've not played this game before?
I have not. I watched it a bunch. I never actually played it. The speedruns are really entertaining. It's amazing what they do.
Yeah. Another game that I enjoy playing on the Switch is Tetris 99.
Yeah,
If you watch high-level players play that game,
yeah.
as a person that thinks a lot about the brain and cognition, it is amazing how quickly these people are thinking.
Yeah. You're talking about Tetris 99 or Tetris in general?
Tetris 99 in particular. Yeah, because now you're playing against other people,
Yep.
and some of them are really good, but I don't know how they think that quickly. I've actually considered maybe running an experiment.
You seen the tapping technique they do to break the record on Nintendo version?
Yeah, they like roll their hand.
Yeah.
Some sort of roll, right?
Yeah, that's a new innovation in the
where
game. Topic jump. Are you getting any misdirected hate mail to the other Chris Martin?
No. Although I'm sure
It'd be
that
funny if you did, though.
it would be funny, yes. Yeah, one of the things that you do get working in a department of psychology is an awful lot of mail and correspondences, letters, questions from people that are very clearly not mentally thriving, who have a lot of interesting beliefs about themselves and about the world. And it's hard to you feel like you have some sort of obligation to provide something of an answer, but also I'm not a clinician. And that's one of the hardest things about psychology, frankly, in terms of like just talking to people about your
Wow.
is everybody believes that like, oh, psychology
Solve my problems.
solve my problem, but also like, oh, you'll love my family, they're all
Yeah.
you know. It's like, well, I'm right there with you because I don't know anything about it.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, it was like my 3rd year as a professor. I got a letter in the mail at my FSU mailbox, and it was from a guy that he was like, organs have colors, and if you match the color with the organ, you'll cure it. And it was,
That
I still have it in my office. I should share it, actually, scan it in.
Yeah, I don't want to be disparaging of anybody, but it sounds more like a philosopher than a
But they are so sure. I mean, the in-person Ask a Scientist, we have people that are like, fruit-only diets, that's what cures cancer, like fruitarians. And
Yeah. Wasn't that what Steve Jobs
Steve
bought
Jobs,
into
yeah,
at the end
yeah.
of his life?
he died because of it. He had treatable condition.
But didn't he have pancreatic cancer? I don't think that's, I mean, that's a pretty tough one.
But his was early diagnosis, but he waited for 9 months for the treatment or something like that.
I see. So whatever treatment there is, the ship had sailed. Even if it, yeah.
Turns out fruit wasn't solving that problem.
Diet is funny. It's just, as a species, we've been eating for a very long time. And we still don't really know what constitutes a good diet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like eggs are bad, milk is bad, cheese is bad, butter is bad. No, those are all good now. It's bacon you don't want.
And it changes so frequently.
Yeah.
And I mean, a good portion of that, like the milk propaganda and the General Mills lobbying groups and like, yeah. So Lori, I'm recruiting for a Psych D and MHC program, and I find these students want to call and talk so much more than STEM students I worked with in chemistry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that says something different about our fields?
Yeah.
Wow. Crispy bacon. First time chat. Why don't people want bacon? Lol. Holy shit, the timing on that. Crispy. Wow.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. It ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Bacon used to go on everything from donuts to cereal to whatever.
Yeah. Caesars.
That's amazing. Crispy, it might not be your first time chat. I think it like recycles every 6 months or something like that for a first time, but welcome back. I do remember the name. Crispy bacon.
Well done.
The timing is just on point.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Cheers to you, sir.
Yep.
Bacon for when you pretend to like meat, but actually only like saturated fat.
Nice.
That's amazing. All right, we're an hour and 42 minutes in. Chris, do you want to switch up games? You want to keep playing? What do you want to do?
Let's play Celeste a little bit longer. What else
good.
do we have on the docket?
We have Teenage Mutant Ninja
Turtles.
Turtles 2, Star Fox, and NHL. I'm going to insist you play some NHL.
Okay,
I don't think we played hockey on stream yet.
Let's switch and play hockey. Like a good
You want
Canadian
to play
boy.
another? All right, I will do that. So I'm going to flip us over. We don't have enough hockey. There's no ice rinks in Tallahassee.
Yeah. It was actually at a certain level a perk when we were thinking about moving down here. Because my daughter played hockey when we still lived in Toronto, but my son was still too young. And I was never going to let him play hockey. It was never going to be a part of his life, only because... Yeah. CTE, I had quite a few concussions, and every time I have a word finding problem, every time something's not going right, I think, well, that's it. This is the...
Oh, man, I have that too.
Yeah, and...
that was the one. That was the hit.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And, there's no real reason to think that.
So if you go down further, I think it has, you can do like penalties, you can do offsides,
we
line
don't
changes. Yeah, you don't have to be a hero.
No. I'm surprised the Penguins are only 75. We would have Lemieux, he's a 99, of course. Yager, and Ron Francis, maybe? Dale Stevens, yeah, okay. So I was relieved when we were coming here because he was never going to play hockey. Which was, something that I thought would be good. But now of course, he's getting to the age where he wants to play football.
Oh no.
And I'm just saying, but that's the non-starter. We aren't playing football. There's no real upside to doing so.
Exactly.
I tried to.
So I grew up in Minnesota, and like there was 3 hockey rinks within a mile of my house, but our
Yep.
town was only 1,600 people, so we didn't have the budget for hockey teams. So I
Oh.
played a lot of pond hockey, but
Pond
football.
hockey is so much more fun, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, you're just out there with your friends. That's the move. That's the
yeah. The
left.
the
Yep.
juke, yep,
Yeah.
the deke outside.
Yep. Even got it done with Larry Murphy, noted goal scorer.
Oh man, this is like the period of time where I still knew hockey players. I don't anymore. I've completely lost.
Wow, this is embarrassing. I was telling you earlier that my objective when I was a kid was to win 60-0, and it's already 1-1.
Let's see what kind of speedrun records there are for this game.
So it's not even clear to me how you would speedrun this game. Like, what's the?
I mean, if I had to guess, like I have a record in, I was top 10 in Tecmo Bowl, but it was basically
Is that
you hold the
points?
puck as long as you can, right? You get 1 goal.
Oh, so you
hold on
try
to
to
it till
finish
there's
the
no
game.
break
Oh,
time.
okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a very different type of speedrun. Or it's like score as many goals as you can as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
NHL 94 for the SNES. Score 10 goals. So that's one of the speedrun
Okay.
categories. That's the SNES. What about the Genesis? Yeah, 10 goals.
Gosh, this game is not as responsive as I remember it being.
Wow, 10 goals and they do it in?
Oh, I forgot. You can just run into the goalie and you hit the deck after. Yeah, so my kids, they play soccer. And each year that we have a tournament up... Oh, what's happening? This is humiliating.
It can't be tied.
Yeah.
When was the last time you played this game?
Oh, it's easily been 20 years.
I would feel no shame.
So there's a tournament up in Columbus, Georgia. And, you know, the kids down here, they don't know much about hockey. And I said, well, in the evening, we'll go for dinner as a team, and then let's go watch a hockey game. It's a, you know, semi-pro equivalent to, like, not even equivalent to East Coast Hockey League. So we've got a group of kids that have never seen hockey before. The parents have never seen hockey before. And instantly they're hooked because they realize, like, oh, this game is fast and physical.
And it's intimate.
And
You're
it's
close.
yeah,
you're
you're
next to the
on top
glass.
of them.
Like the smell, the air, like
Yeah, and you can do, like, culturally, it's normal. You do things that you would never do at other, like, you wouldn't at tennis start a "ref you suck" chant. But that's to be expected at a hockey game.
you wouldn't cheer at the punching of the faces, you know?
Yeah. By the third period, there were no fights in this game, but by the third period, imagine a section with 14, 11-year-old girls all getting into it. Fight, 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 fight.
It's a unique hockey experience.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say it. So my daughter's the first sporting event they went to was actually a hockey game back in Minnesota.
Okay.
So I went to St. Cloud State University as an undergrad,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
if you know hockey, they're good in college sports.
Yeah.
Not known for anything else but hockey, because that's the Herb Brooks Arena is there.
Yeah.
You coach
Yeah.
there. So yeah, it's their first sporting event was a hockey game. We've thought about going to a few games here, but I mean we have to go to Tampa, right? It's
Yeah.
a commute.
It's also, you know, the real... What is my goalie doing? The problem with hockey is that it's expensive. It's expensive to play. It's expensive to
Yeah.
watch.
There's a barrier, that's for sure.
This was always
Ice
the best.
time is expensive.
Ice time is expensive. How am I losing this game? Oh my goodness. This is
All right.
and disappointing a whole country.
Crispy Bacon wants to know, does the psych department ever pull video games into their research? I know I've seen some
Yes.
surveys about video games and player habits before in the FSU Eve sports server, but don't know if there's much long-term research being done. Wally Boot did
Wally
like
Boot
driver simulators.
Oh yeah, he
You can check out the stream with him. He's since left FSU, but
Yeah,
While he's here.
people will use. I actually ended up sort of adopting one of Wally's grad students after he left.
Oh, wow.
And he still uses a video game called Space Fortress. Now, by today's standards, it's hardly a video game. You have a little ship and you control it, but it requires a fair bit of executive control, and you have to learn strategy. And it's a good model for just learning in general, right? How quickly people can acquire skills and discover strategy. Yeah, and it seems to me that people that study navigation could also get a lot out of some of these open world games. Like I think about Breath of the Wild, for example.
Spatial mapping. And...
Yeah, I mean, you really have got to develop an internal model of that world if you're going to play it effectively.
So I'm going to suggest we throw up this prediction right now as relevance to this conversation.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
All right, we're going to do a prediction. If you guys aren't following, click the follow button, get your internet units. You're going to spend them on this question right here. You don't have to, it's entirely optional. But the question is, brain training improves general cognition. Brain training loosely defined, but there's a lot of brain training games, or advertised as brain training games.
Yes.
And so does it improve general cognition? Not just specific tasks, but general abilities. Crusader Kings 3 or RimWorld would be good for measuring mental degeneration.
I don't know those games. Is that a comment on the game or the people that play?
The players, like, we could do Call of Duty too, like so much sex with mothers, it's incredible. Degeneracy. That's amazing, Cuddle Puppy. Thank you. Brain training improves general cognition. True or false? You guys have about a minute to pop in your answers. Again, these are standard internet units. This is all for pride. Plus, you can make us drink or unlock emotes or whatever it might be.
I think gaming these days gets a bit of a bad rap. It's pretty pervasive, and not necessarily in a bad way in all cases. Although in many cases it is bad. But you know, my mom. She didn't grow up playing video games, so she didn't get it. She thought, you know, sitting around and playing video games was a colossal waste of time. And it probably was.
I mean, that's not true, though. Studies have shown it's better than TV time, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
not all screen time is equal.
That's true. That's true. It's clearly superior to TV time because you have to think creatively and
planning, you're remembering,
all of that.
Troubleshooting.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the score if you guys want to see it. Sorry, I'm in the way.
It's not pretty.
It's close, though. We're in the third period.
Yeah, I am not the player I remember being.
It's fine. It'll come back. All right, Chris, what is the answer? Brain training improves general cognition. True or false?
That one is false.
False. We got a dark horse. 4-1 payout. Congratulations. Lori took the win on this one. The answer is false.
Yeah, the answer is false.
Can I show you the craziest glitch in the world? So get to the main menu.
The main menu?
Yeah, just press start on this screen and then leave it. So if you go down to change goalie, just click on that, pick Ron. Now, if I take player 2 controller and I do change goalie, I can change the opponent to no goalie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So if you press start,
they'll have 6 skaters.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So you can glitch out the goalie in this game. and like, I did this for NHLPA. I tested for this and it works as well. But as far as I know, early games, they will not put the goalie back in. It is just free for all goal. So but if you do like playoffs, if you go like 3 rounds in, the goalie will come back in.
Okay.
So like the AI accounts for it somehow.
Interesting. So Matt Sundin should score 20 goals in this game.
But here's the question for you guys, and this is something that came up. So NHL 93. So I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to detour from Chris's game for a bit. You guys will still be able to hear it. So I looked up the speedrun category for NHLPA Hockey 93. Yep. And they have a goal scoring category, first to 5 goals, first to 10 goals. Mm-hmm. And if you look up the rules, there's rules for the game. You can't use cheats, Game Genie, blah, blah, blah. But the rule category says nothing about not using this exploit.
Oh.
So nobody that's speedrun number of goals has used this exploit before. And so earlier this week when I discovered this, looking this up, trying to set up your game,
Yeah.
I recorded it 2 days ago, beating both the 5-goal and the 10-goal record using this goalie.
Oh, really?
And I submitted it. And so they either need to accept it or they need to change their rules. And I'm not entirely sure which one they're going to do.
How long does it typically take for that to be processed?
It's just volunteer moderators, so it's whoever's going to look at it and decide. But
I'm within somebody off. That's for sure.
I beat the 10-goal record by like 40% or something ridiculous.
Somewhere in Quebec, there's an angsty middle-ager going, "Oh, bank tabarnak."
Oh man, so we'll see. Either I'm going to be the world record holder in NHLPA 93 5-goal and 10-goal scoring record, or they're going to change the rules. Either way, I'm taking that advantage. Like I've earned something.
Yeah.
But you can see that's such a crazy glitch.
Yeah.
Like if you hit the menu now, I can't control it with player 2. It's only the start menu at the start of the game.
Oh, interesting.
And I discovered that sometime when I was young for whatever reason. And yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Ken's NARC standing isn't enough for his ego, so he has to exploit loopholes in other games. His spoiler, Cuddle Puppy, most speedrunner records are finding something like that.
Yeah, that's
right?
the whole enterprise.
Exactly. Cartridge swapping or something stupid, but we'll see.
Yeah, clipping and doing all kinds of things.
So yeah, that's why that clip is up on our YouTube channel right now. I use that for our speed run. So that's either a world record or a case study in how to cheat. That's unacceptable.
The best part of this game was hitting people after the whistle.
Oh man. Speaking of which, I looked up a little history on that too. Fun factoid for those of you watching. So I played NHLPA 93. This is NHL 94.
Yep.
And so the backstory behind this is when they made the hockey game, the NHL 93, they showed it to NHL executives, and it was a group of people, I don't know who was there, but people figured out how to fight and how to, in NHLPA 93, you hit people and they like bleed out on the ice.
Yep.
Like there's actual bleeding.
There's blood.
And the NHL said, we are not going to support this. And so when they released the
Weren't they familiar with their own product?
Exactly. But they didn't want that image, right? So
come on.
What they did was the NHL said, we will not endorse this game. And so if you look at NHLPA, that's Players Association. The Players Union accepted it. So all the players' names are in it. But the teams aren't New York Rangers, it's just New York.
That's interesting. I didn't know that history.
And then in 94, they came back and said, we'll sponsor it. You can be NHL affiliated with the logos and everything.
But no fighting.
But no fighting. And so fighting didn't come back till 1997. And when it did, NHL insisted that it was the average number of fights per game. So it was 1.7 fights per game in NHL 97.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun history.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's at a time, early 90s, hockey was brutal.
Oh God.
Like, truly brutal.
Because there were still people playing without face masks.
Without helmets.
Grandfather.
Never mind face masks, no helmets.
Yeah.
But it was brutal back then.
Slap shot.
Very physical. Fighting was like just commonplace. Today, fighting is exceptionally rare. You don't see much fighting anymore. Not at the pro level. Minor leagues, that's all it is.
Just for fun.
For those that are, I'll evangelize a bit for hockey. For those that don't know, there's a Canadian show called Shoresy, which is about hockey, and it's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
Yeah. Just go on YouTube and watch Shoresy highlights, especially the hockey ones.
If my kids end up watching this, I will say Felix and Claire cannot watch Shoresy. Not yet, anyway.
Oh man, I'll have to tell Debbie about that. We've watched highlights. Oh man.
But brain training. Training, that's false. There's no real evidence that suggests that the benefits of brain training generalize to non-training tasks. So if you get better at task A on your phone while you're paying some company to help you improve your cognition, all you're really doing is getting better at that game. It's not going to translate to other domains, even domains that are near. So there's an idea of near and far transfer. There's no evidence for far transfer. Some evidence for near transfer, but who cares about near transfer? And also the claims that these companies make, and what got them into hot water originally was that they were making claims about far transfer.
Yeah. And this was like Baby Einstein or whatever company got sued for that for kids too.
I don't know about, did they?
Yeah, I think so. I think they got.
Yeah, I mean, there is some empirical evidence that says that memory and cognition in general, although the first, what is this jabroni doing? Although the first
Taunting.
taunting, it's 14-1. There's some empirical evidence that says that listening to the original studies were classical music can improve performance on cognitive tasks. Now, I think people took that literally. It turns out that many different genres of music can have that effect. I don't think it's super robust. So I think that's what Baby Einstein was running with. But this was more like Lumosity.
I see.
They were the big player in that space.
Because they were claiming cognitive growth.
Yep. And not just for anybody, but for the population that had the money and had the desire, older individuals, right? People that are worried well. Yeah. And it felt predatory, and they were making claims that, the data didn't really support.
I mean, that's interesting. So this idea of cognitive cross-training isn't a real thing, but like physical and mechanical dexterity does translate.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like surgery,
Yeah.
surgeons that play video games are better.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
intriguing.
I think it speaks to the sort of general purpose of the our effectors, right? We can use our hands for many different things, and if you get better dexterity, that should translate. If you get better at tennis, you should also get better at other things that require balance and those kinds of things. But when we think about cognition, there's this sort of long-standing tradition, which I think is actually problematic in today's world to some degree. This long-standing tradition of sort of carving the brain and carving cognition up at its joints and saying that, memory, for example, is distinct from perception, and perception is distinct from language, and language is distinct from emotional processing, and cognitive control is its own thing. So we study these things on islands, but to some degree there is modularity and specialization in the brain, but getting better at this is
I know.
I'm happy to be winning, but I'm not so proud.
It's something a little satisfying, but also, I get it.
But it's good to get back in the saddle this way.
Feels good to win 20-0.
Yeah, one. I did give up a goal. Maybe I should pull my goalie and give them a fighting chance now.
This is amazing, though.
Yeah.
And then you get penalties on, and it's like 6v3.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I wonder if there's if you played 20-minute periods like this.
How far can you go?
If this is like a Y2K thing, when it rolls over to 100,
it just goes blank.
Crashes.
The NHL crashes. I've never tried to run up the score on 20 goals, or 20-minute periods, but man.
Oh, come on. Joe Sakic doesn't miss from there.
Yeah, but you're right. The manipulation of the goalie was the key to this, right? Getting the lean back slightly and hitting the close post. Yeah. Maybe he can get a score to 60 now.
Two and a half minutes left, maybe.
24-1.
I think that's unlikely. Yeah, for those keeping score at home, 24-1.
Man, so I'm not familiar with luminosity. Like there were
Lumosity.
Lumosity.
Yeah.
There we go. There's memory games, pattern games. What were the mechanism?
Well, their claim was that improvements in working memory capacity. So like working memory span, the capacity is something that can be trained. A lot of work at FSU actually demonstrated that. And part of what they wanted to say was, or what they did say was that, showing improvements on tasks that are working memory tasks that place demand on that system will generalize and help you think faster, right? That kind of language is what got them in trouble. Because it was just, that wasn't true.
Think faster.
I mean, that's a big part of it is this, you think about What? They just scored on their own net. An own goal. Beautiful.
That was satisfying.
Ron Hextall has 6 assists, by the way. That's got to be some sort of record.
Oh, man.
That's the goalie, for those that don't know about the Quebec Nordiques.
I mean, you should try a goalie score.
Oh, there's 2 seconds. Hextall does have he scored 2 goals, I think, in his career.
That's amazing.
And the goalie shoot.
As rare as a goalie score as a goalie versus goalie fight.
Yeah.
It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, 27-1.
Yeah, feels good. Feels good. So
yeah, now you know the second controller trick. You got to bust it out the old Sega, and
yeah.
it works on the console too. Like this is when I discovered it. So
interesting. Maybe I'll try one more game this time. Now that I've got the feel for it with the goalie.
With the goalie.
And see if I can put a shellacking on.
Let's do
the
it.
Hartford Whalers, maybe.
Ottawa.
Who's I forget who was like the. Is it still Chicago in '94? Los Angeles with Gretzky and Robitaille.
So 93, New York and Buffalo are the best teams.
Buffalo?
No, not Buffalo. What was the other
Had to be Chicago with Roenick. Roenick was like supercharged.
No, you're right. It's New York, Chicago, and the worst teams are like San Jose and Ottawa. I don't know about 94.
I guess I'm just gonna stack the deck in my favor.
You can play as all-stars in this too, right?
I wonder if Pavel Bure is in this. Can you?
Yeah. Oh. You want to be...
Here we go.
Oh, Florida. Oh, no.
How are they?
Florida's good now, though. Holy crap.
How are they in 91? This I have to see. Ray Bork, Larry Murphy, Adam Oates, Lemieux, Yoni.
We're going to earn this
Whatever.
one. All right. While Chris plays his final game of NHL 94 with goalie, we're not going to cheat this time.
Not going to cheat. Yeah.
He's going to try to run up the score with the All-Star team. If you guys have questions for Chris about long-term memory, how we measure that, how we study that, what it means to be long-term versus short-term memory, ask those questions now in chat, and we'll be happy to answer those, talking about functional MRI and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, or just cognitive neuroscience in general.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so you're in the psychology department. But
that's my home department
program.
Yeah, that's psychology is my home department. But I'm also in the neuroscience program, or program in neuroscience, I guess we call it.
It's very blurry lines.
Neuroscience is always a tricky one because it's interdisciplinary by nature, right? Yeah. So you've got people from psychology, biology, math, physics, all over the place. And, although I don't think here we have anybody from physics. This is not going the way I expected.
so it goes.
Yeah, but questions about cognitive neuroscience in general.
Yeah,
Ray Bork is
well. So going back to this brain training question, so they're talking about response time. So I mean, physiological response time in terms of like screen turns green and you push a button. That's both neurological and physiological.
Yeah.
Like, do you get faster? I mean, playing that green button push, does it make you better at a faster shooting game? I mean, is that a general skill or is that a specific skill? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think if you were to, I think that's probably a general skill. Certainly if you ask someone like Ken Jennings, he would tell you that it is. Do you remember Ken Jennings?
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to what he says about Jeopardy, you got to have the knowledge, but it doesn't matter if you can't get the timing right on the buzzer.
That was the game changer, right? He hit it every time.
That.
Yeah.
I mean, he had knowledge that, I mean, he's forgotten more than I've ever learned, but.
Nice.
So that was the other move. In addition to the one-timer, go in the corner and then get to the front of the net, and the goalie just, in typical 90s goalie fashion, stands there.
The good old days.
If there are any sports fans watching, it's interesting, even if you don't like hockey, it's neat that you can go back and see the moment that the game was really revolutionized. The goalies didn't seemingly understand that they could go down to the ice and put their pads on the ice. So they only ever stood up.
Yeah.
So back in the day, you'd see these horrible goals go in on the ice because the goalie didn't ever occur to them that they could just like go down on the ground until Patrick Waugh came into the league.
But that was a byproduct of the pads too, right? Like
Partly,
the quality
yeah.
of the equipment. Like you're taking a shin shot.
Yeah,
on a
exactly.
puck. Holy
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, that
yeah.
shatters a tibia.
Yeah. It's funny when we were kids, we'd play pond hockey, and you always heard these stories about somebody that, you know, was maybe your parents' age, and when they played shinny on the pond, they would wear the Sears
I was gonna say it's
catalog
newspaper, yeah.
on their shins.
You tape them on.
And you just sort of have a gentleman's agreement that you're not going to shoot the puck hard and you're not going to raise the puck for sure.
Yep. Nothing above waist level.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Long after my playing days were over.
How long did you play that through high school?
Yeah, although in Canada, high school hockey's not really. I mean, yes, through the years of high school, but high school hockey's not where it's at.
Club. Yeah.
But long after my days of playing formally were over, I would play in these men's leagues or tournaments, and because living in Windsor, you got a fair number of guys that played professionally that lived there. So I remember facing off against Bob Probert.
It's awesome.
And that was a pretty wild experience.
Did you just get destroyed?
Oh, he you know, he was just toying with us. And this is a guy that, you know, he wasn't
fast. Like, you don't appreciate till you go to a game and see a 6'4" dude skate the ice faster than you've ever seen anyone.
Yep.
Oh my god. And just surgically handling a puck, it is disgusting.
Well, for Bob Probert, it was more about surgically handling someone's face.
But even that, like, he wasn't a puck handling guy, but compared to the average whoever,
I mean, there was a year, I think, where he scored 30 goals in the NHL, and he could do it, but he was more an enforcer. But lining up opposite him and at the end of the game, shaking his hand and realizing, like, whoa, he's like a bear, you know?
That's terrifying. Just how fast.
Yeah.
And how fast they hit the puck, it is.
Yep.
It's like during my transition through 4 majors, I did athletic training for a period of time, and I did it for St. Cloud State. And so their Division I hockey, they have, you know, 3 or 4 guys go pro every single year.
Yep.
And it is crazy. Like,
okay,
curving the puck, like how fast they hit, the reflexes, like those wrist shots now are insane.
The sticks have changed a lot too.
Yeah.
The stick technology.
The carbon fiber changed everything.
Yeah. Are we losing the chat by talking about hockey too much?
Oh, I don't care. That's their problem, not mine. I don't get to talk hockey much in Florida. To be fair.
The mark of a good YouTube host. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I will offend dozens of viewers. It's more of a, as long as we're having fun, I don't really care if chat shows up. But if you guys have questions about cognitive neuroscience, throw those in chat. Otherwise, we're going to shoot the shit on hockey. So apparently Tallahassee used to have a semi-pro team.
Tiger Sharks. They were part of the ECHL, East Coast Hockey League.
I don't know where they played. It must have been Jackson.
Tucker Center.
Oh, really?
Tucker Center. They used to have ice in there.
Wow.
And I think it was quite a chore to convert it and maintain it, certainly in you know, hockey starts and goes well into sort of like what was spring in most places, but here summer.
Yeah.
But it was really more about, you know, those minor league clubs. It's all about ownership, right?
Yeah.
And if you have good ownership, a team can thrive anywhere. From what I understand, they had a decent little fan base, but you know, it's hard to market down here.
Yeah. With that said, Stanley Cup the last couple years have been Florida teams, which is crazy.
Yeah. As a Leafs fan, it's
devastating. Yeah, I get it.
It's disheartening to know that, like, the state of Florida has won 4 Stanley Cups in a time span where the Leafs haven't even like made it past the first round of the playoffs.
Just insane.
It just feels wrong.
Yeah.
You know? And there are all kinds of conspiracy theories because, you know, there's this belief that the commissioner is like favoring the expansion teams. It's not clear to me how that would actually play out.
I was gonna say, where does that come through? Like, which logistical step?
Well, they argue that it's the refs show preference to, you know, this team or that team.
Interesting.
You know, this year in the playoffs, the Leafs and the Panthers played, and I mean, one of their players elbowed our goalie in the back of the head, and he went out with a concussion, and there was no penalty on the play. Never mind suspension. There wasn't even This is real old school hockey. Tie him up. At least I won. All right, let's stop with hockey.
What do you want to play? What do we go with? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Star Fox. We're at 10:14. We'll probably start NARC at 10:35. So you got 20 minutes.
Let's do Star Fox.
Star Fox.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to transition.
If the people remaining weren't annoyed enough by hockey, they'll almost certainly be annoyed by Slippy.
Oh my God. Especially the first level. They're just obnoxious.
Yep.
All right, we're transitioning to Star Fox 64. I'm going to jump you ahead to gameplay because there's a pretty big build-up screen. All right, we are playing Star Fox.
This is a game that I played so much as a kid that like I feel like I could do this blindfolded.
Yeah, this is Nintendo 64. This was one of the popular games, like this, GoldenEye.
Yep.
Mario 64.
Yeah. I was never really a big Mario player. I don't know why. I know that's where Nintendo put all their IP and I think there's something in here.
All right, yeah, if you guys have any questions, throw those questions in chat at Chris while he plays Star Fox 64. If you guys don't know, this is a, I don't know, pixelated, a geometric flight game where you shoot things and fly through.
And this is a faithful remake of the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah, right? It's shooter on a rail style.
I don't remember how to slow down. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's like the C buttons, I think, back.
You know, I wish all of these companies would just get together and say, let's just have a common nomenclature for our buttons.
Yeah, X's and Y's and A's and B's and
colors and
squares and triangles.
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces. What position would each member of Star Fox play? Hockey positions.
Slippy would be sitting on the bench, that's for sure.
Slippy's the worst.
Slippy's opening the gate when you're going over the boards.
Slippy Zambonis.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk to Slippy.
What are the other ones called? Peppy. Peppy probably, that's stay-at-home defenseman.
Made Fox's center.
Fox plays center, definitely. And what's the there's a lizard, right?
Name. Yeah.
Here, I seem to remember if you go through all of these tunnels, that
There's
opens up.
Yeah.
But it also allows you to take a different route.
So there's gold on this one.
I think that sends us to the right. And if you...
Huh. Asking the important questions, Reese's Pieces. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We're talking some cognitive neuroscience while playing some Star Fox. Talking a whole bunch about hockey, which is fun. But yeah, I should ask you one of our canned questions. One of my favorites, at least.
Yeah.
Movies or TV shows that get your discipline right or wrong?
Oh,
so that could be loosely defined, like defining like a neuroscientist or how they use memory or...
Yeah, I've got quite a bit to say about this.
All right, let's do it.
Let's hear it. Memento does a really good job. I think that is a fantastic movie that captures some of the sort of phenomenological or like subjective experience of having profound amnesia. So if you listen to people that have really serious amnesia, what they will say is that, you know, every moment is like waking from a dream. You know, you come to and you realize, okay, I am consciously aware of what's happening right now. But then the analogy with the dream works because, you know, when you wake up in the middle of the night after having a dream, it feels as though the harder you try to hang on to what was happening, the quicker it slips between your fingers. And I think that is captured by Memento. This sort of like every day when he wakes up, this feeling of confusion, not knowing who he is, where he is, and trying to puzzle that out. So Memento does a very good job of this.
I mean, that's just such a crazy way to exist. Like
wild.
That's a special kind of hell, right? But they can't even process it as that, right?
Most people that have that degree of amnesia, they actually end up being very chipper and bubbly. Because they're not burdened by their past.
True. Let's not be burdened
Yeah.
by what has come.
Not all of them, but some of them. So a very famous patient goes, his name is Clive Waring, Wearing. Great, fantastic videos on YouTube of Clive Waring and his experience. And he can effectively hold on to the past for about 10, maybe 12 seconds. That's it. And if you listen to what he says things like, I've never had a conscious thought before. Can you imagine that? And it introduces, professionally, I wouldn't probably talk about this, but it introduces interesting questions like, is that a person?
Yeah.
You know,
do they have the infrastructure necessary to be defined as a person?
Somebody that,
Wow.
And I think Mementos captures that. Now, in terms of what gets it wrong, 50 First Dates.
I was going to bring that one up. Everyday reset.
they get it wrong. Everyday reset. That's not something that really has actually been documented. The other one that I think is...
Well, let's not detour from that one yet.
Okay.
The morally reprehensible part of getting someone with memory loss pregnant.
Is that what happens in that movie?
Yeah, at the end, it's like the video is like, oh, you're going to have a kid, heads up.
I guess I don't remember it.
But usually with that type of memory loss, it's very short term. It's not like you get 24 hours of awareness.
Exactly. Now you could, in principle, if you kept whatever it is that you were thinking about in your sort of working memory system, in your conscious mind. Mm-hmm. So even in that movie, or as somebody like Clive Waring, with enough effort, might be able to hold on to a thought or something if they keep it in their active mind. The moment you shine a spotlight over there, it's gone.
Yeah.
Right. But in general, you don't see this sort of reset after a night of sleep.
Jeez.
So that's how it's depicted, I believe, in 50 First Dates.
Yep.
So they get it wrong there. Another movie that is more, I think, thoughtful about it and creative is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
The premise for the movie, if you don't know, is that you could, in principle, eradicate, erase, delete specific memories from your mind. And in a way that actually can be done. But it neglects the fact that our memories and our memory systems, and the hippocampus in particular, work very hard when we experience an event to both separate it from all other events that came before, so making it differentiated from other experiences so you can relive that particular moment, but also integrating it with other experiences so you can have this sort of higher order learning about what typically happens during a category of event, right? So you don't have to go to a birthday party to know what likely happened at a birthday party. You draw on a lifetime of experience. You have this schematic knowledge that's abstracted across many experiences. So this idea that you could like cleanly cut out one memory sort of overlooks the fact that they're all integrated, right? At a certain level, all memories are connected. So you can't just ablate one memory without compromising other ones as well. So that gets it wrong. And then the other big thing I would say here is that fMRI, neuroimaging in general, holy moly, do they ever get it wrong?
Look at this thought here.
Yeah. The most egregious example, and one that I use in class, is what's this? The Walking Dead, where they put one of the walkers in an MRI scanner, ostensibly.
I did not know that.
Oh, it is brutal.
What happens?
You can see individual neurons and action potentials.
Oh.
And the scanner is talking to you.
That's amazing.
They get it wrong. And then the other thing, the other example I like to use in class, I don't know what show it's from. It's one of these medical dramas. And they've got a guy that's going in for an MRI scan because he had gone fishing, and his leg, like his upper thigh, had been impaled by a swordfish. So they put this guy in the scanner, and he's got the swordfish sticking out of his leg, and it's a big fish. And then the fish explodes. And their rationale for why the fish explodes is that it must have had some metal in its body. But when it explodes, you know, like a piece of the fish goes through the guy's neck, and he's like, there's blood spurting out. And this was on like network television, so
Wow.
they get it wrong in that regard. So, you know, if the fish was going to explode, first of all, it wouldn't explode. The weight, the anchor, not the anchor, what do you call it? The sinker. If there is metal, it's just gonna like seep through its pores and get stuck to the inside of the scanner. It's not gonna, the fish is not going to explode. Now, let's get real here.
Well, that's entertaining.
Yeah, but the worst one by far is this Walking Dead one. I mean, it's so bad.
If only it were that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, so speaking of the going back to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, like wiping memories in the brain. So there's some evidence now that like people that experience a traumatic event, rather than letting that set in long-term memory or whatever it is, you have them play Tetris, right? So that's not wiping, but that's intervening before it forms. Can you comment on that?
Yeah. So the logic there is that if you are able to shortly after the experience expose somebody to something that is visually very stimulating, very rich, like a game of Tetris with lots of colors, lots of movement, that visual stimulus will actually interfere with the encoding process that is trying to establish this memory of this traumatic experience. So you're not eliminating the memory, but you're taking the sort of edge off of it, so to speak, in terms of its vividness from a perceptual perspective. Now, the other thing that's worth mentioning here is that from a therapeutic perspective, one sort of phenomenon that can be leveraged, not only in the moments after some traumatic experience, but like, you know, weeks, months, years, decades after, is this idea of memory reconsolidation. So you experience some event, the hippocampus establishes some trace through that plasticity that I mentioned earlier, and then over time that memory will become consolidated. It's like, the analogy would be, you know, you pour a new driveway or a sidewalk, the cement is wet, it's still subject to interference. The kids are going to go out and draw things in it. You know what they're going to draw, but they're going to go out and mess it up. And then over time it will solidify, and that's part of the permanent trace, right? So the idea is that in memory, every time you retrieve a memory, it has to undergo that consolidation process again. So it becomes labile, it becomes flexible and subject to interference. So the idea is that from a therapeutic perspective, you can reactivate the memory under a very sort of specific set of circumstances. So you could administer, for example, some sort of pharmaceutical agent that blunts the physiological response in your body, right? So it lowers your heart rate, it reduces your sweating, it reduces all the things that come with the physiology that comes with a traumatic or anxiety-evoking experience. And if you do that while the memory is active, you then force your brain to reconsolidate that memory in this state of diminished arousal. And the thinking is that now, in the future, when you retrieve that memory, it will be absent that physiological response, because your most recent encoding has, a reconsolidation rather, has been done under this state of sort of physiological calm. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Loosely related to, if I study high, I should take the test high.
Yeah. The wildest example of that was they had subjects learn, you know, some list of words or something, either on land or underwater. And then they had to do the test their memory, either on land or underwater. And you saw this context-specific effect where if you studied underwater, you should test underwater. And that research got extended to show, like, for example, if you're using cannabis while studying, you should use cannabis while testing. Not that I would advocate for that, especially not in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Especially not as an immigrant in the state of Florida. But some of that hasn't actually held up, stood the test of time.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was just stoner logic there for the most part. I didn't know they did actual studies.
They've done studies on that, yeah, with nicotine, with cannabis.
That's incredible.
Yep.
And so related to this, like, memory formation and PTSD, there was, my understanding, there was debate after after any shooting in particular at FSU recently. It's like, do you just go back to life as normal, or do you magnify by not doing that? Like, there were trauma counselors, there were psychologists, like, there was a big discussion. Because what feels good short term is not necessarily the best decision.
Correct.
So what's is there a consensus that I don't want you to speak outside your expertise, but my understanding was it's probably best to get back to life as usual rather than, commit it repeated to memory by reliving it.
Yeah, I mean, from a memory, I can't speak to it from a clinical perspective.
Yeah.
And there certainly would be extreme cases where exposing or encouraging people, or worse, even requiring people to go back to those places would be problematic, devastating, catastrophic, however you want to frame it.
Yeah.
Now, from a memory perspective, and I actually don't know the science on this, but my intuition is that there is value in going back to those places, going back to that place and re-experiencing it in a more sort of neutral state. You bring the arousal that you experienced if you were, unlucky enough to be on campus when that happened. But over time, that should slowly, I would imagine, from a strictly memory perspective, that might be mitigated by having further experience in that same space that's not traumatic.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know that. There's probably some research on that. I don't know it off the top of my head, but...
And I mean, presumably what's hard about that is, on average, that's probably a true statement, but then there's outlier edge cases where it's damaging beyond belief.
Yeah, but as an institution, I mean, you have to make decisions and have policy be guided by what's, in most cases, best for the most people.
And I think that was their initial response. They were like, we're going to stay the course. We're going to go back to class as normal because this is what evidence says. But the backlash was so big that they decided, screw the evidence, we'll do what feels good.
Yeah, I think a lot of students, I think, were frustrated and disappointed with how that was managed. But I think in the end, they ultimately did get it right.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to give them a little bit of leeway to, like, try different things. Because, like, nobody knows definitively, although maybe we should, because this is the other thing that sort of is bothersome for me, not from a memory perspective, but just from a person that works at a place that had something like that happen, is that this is commonplace.
Yeah.
We have to accept that is something that we tolerate as a society, and I don't really want to get into politics, but, like,
if it exists, we should understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were discussions that I was having with a grad student in my lab who said, I'm running an experiment right now on autobiographical memory. We don't have IRB approval to really, like, get at this, but we have an opportunity to try to understand from a memory perspective what goes on in the wake of these kinds of experiences. Should we capitalize on that? And I think the downside seemed maybe greater than the upside, so we decided against it. But that's something that happens, after the hurricane Hurricane Andrew, that impacted on Miami. I don't know, was this 1992 maybe, 94?
I don't remember.
People recognized that there was a chance to understand how, like, traumatic experiences get encoded. And there were all kinds of memory studies, and also 9/11 was another case where, there was this opportunity to conduct a once-in-a-lifetime sort of memory experiment, and you sort of find yourself thinking, like, well, is it worth it? Because you're asking people to relive these super traumatic things. Well,
I mean, that's fair with your average citizen, but presumably the military has done some of this study, right? Like, you've signed your soul to some degree when you become a soldier, like...
Yes.
That's where a lot of these PTSD studies come from.
Yep.
Presumably they're tracking this to some degree.
Yep. Although even there, I think the science is probably even still in its infancy, only because and this, I think, is a generational thing. It's really only become acceptable to talk about
Yeah.
things like PTSD, especially for soldiers, I imagine, in the relatively recent past, right?
Yeah. Rub some dirt on it was
Rub some dirt on it.
prevalent until
Yep.
at least the 90s.
So, yeah, I think the quality of the data that's come from relevant studies in those contexts, you know, varies, and it's probably getting better as people are more willing to acknowledge some of those, some of the burden that they carry with them after they've, you know, finished their mission or their service or whatever.
So Lori has a related question. My dad repeats embellished stories / memories so often that we joke he probably thinks his version is actually what happened.
Interesting. Yeah.
Could it be that he actually believes his version
Oh.
is truth?
Yeah, most definitely. That's, you know, coming back to this, I think Laurie was here when we talked about this, but this idea that memories are constructive. It's a constructive process. We are building this narrative of what we believe happened. And every time that we do that, think about it through this lens of reconsolidation. We are reconsolidating that memory with that new information, whether it be embellishment or not. But yeah, that definitely can happen. In fact, and this is not by any means meant to suggest that your dad might have a problem with his prefrontal cortex.
But he might.
But people that
I'd
have...
say he doesn't.
Yeah. People that have damage in prefrontal cortex, they will often do they engage in what's called confabulation, where it's like honest lying. They actually come to be confused about the boundary between themselves and others.
Oh,
And what happens is that they might, let's imagine, I've just watched a movie, and in that movie, they you know, the main character fed the dog, right? And then my wife comes home and says, "Did you feed the dog?" I might say, "Yeah, I fed the dog," but that was something that happened in the movie, right? So you can see in the cases of confabulation all kinds of
blurs those lines.
yeah.
Wow.
Line blurring, exactly. But yeah, from a memory science lens, the parts of the story that get repeated, reactivated, retrieved, and retold time and time again, those are the parts that are getting reinforced, right? Those are the connections in the brain that are being reinforced. So those embellishments will grow. The fish will get bigger as the years go on.
It's amazing. All right, we are at 10:35. We should probably transition over to NARC.
Okay.
Want to finish out a boss or?
No, well, Bill likes it.
There, you just did it. All
Okay,
right, we'll
perfect.
take
Good
that.
timing.
All right. Ready to close out the night with old school Nintendo and a game you've never played before. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for NARC. All right, before you press the start button, I've set up two things. The timer. Do you want to see the timer or do you not want to see the timer?
I don't see how seeing the timer is going to be beneficial.
or hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's up to you. I can put it here or over here. I don't care.
What's the record?
Ooh, the fastest time?
Okay,
We
what's the
actually-
record for your guests?
No, the fastest time for a guest was broken recently. It's about 13 minutes. And it goes up
13
to
minutes.
40 minutes. So there's a diverse range. If you're under
Okay.
25 minutes, you're doing good.
Yeah, let's put the timer over.
All right,
I
I
want
wanna
that
see this.
sense of urgency.
All right, before you press start, you do need to know the lore. So here's the cartridge, the original game. Tagline, no one had the guts until now. Obviously, you have the guts.
Yeah.
You are Max Force. Your mission, bust Mr. Big and his dreaded criminal empire. Seize all contraband, stolen money, illegal weapons, use rocket bombs, high-powered machine guns, apprehend all suspects, protect the innocent, and punish the guilty. Stop at nothing. So you're going to win the war on drugs.
Punish the guilty. That's,
I know you are Judge Dredd.
yeah.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
One can only hope that I don't end up punishing the innocent.
Go ahead and press start. I'll get the timer on the screen.
Pipeline hideout. Oh boy. Look at that ride. It's a 911.
All right, you're walking right. You have 4 buttons are turned into 2 if you tap A. It's rockets. What's that?
These poor souls,
There we go. There's the timer. You guys can see it now.
these guys, when they fall down
You're gonna go
first,
through the door.
their shirt falls off when they fall down. That's
No,
interesting.
they're flashers that are selling you drugs. I don't know.
And now we're on the subway, so that's only fitting. A bunch of flashers down here.
Exactly. You and I grew up in similar 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, what's this?
So that's a dog.
Oh,
If you hold
crouch.
both buttons, yeah. So the move you'll want to practice is the jump rocket.
All right, come
Yeah.
on, Max Force,
Find a
Max
door.
Fury,
Max Force.
Max Force.
And his player number 2 is the Hitman.
Okay.
So classic names. But yeah,
It's
if you guys
interesting
want
that-
you want to distract Chris, throw your questions in chat right now because he is speedrunning versus his colleagues.
I like that the signage is actually written. Oh,
So go hit that. There you go.
is in English. If I remember, most of the games were just gibberish.
No, that's true. But they
Quack-
changed it.
Quack Stop.
It was Crack Stop on the arcade, and then when it went to Nintendo, they did Quack.
Perfect.
So you'll notice the marijuana leaf number is not the same.
Okay.
This version versus the yeah.
EUG NES nightclub liquors.
So liquor is fine.
Yeah.
Nintendo is okay with liquor. They're not squeaky clean enough to not do liquor.
Alone, you gotta.
All right, we got 20 minutes left. Are there any questions you wanted to talk about that I didn't bring up? We did a couple of the canned questions, not all of them. And airplane conversation, we kind of touched on that.
I took out a helicopter. Oh,
Oh, so those are heroin needles that they're throwing at you?
stop.
Yeah. So that's. Did you
This
take
is a
Dare?
lab.
Did you have Dare growing up, or is that a U.S. centric?
I had a Dare T-shirt, but we didn't have Dare the
Not the
program.
program?
Nope.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is shoot the guys wearing black at close range with bullets. And one of them's gonna drop a blue card. So walk towards them, don't shoot them yet. Then shoot them now. There you go, blue card. Right there, swipe that. And go through.
So the blue card was white. Oh, I guess it is. It is blue. I see it
Yeah,
now.
it fell. You grabbed it quickly, actually, so that worked out.
Okay. AKA
Oh, man.
Dumpster Man.
Dare has been
Addict.
demonstrated over and over again to be ineffective, but here we are.
Yeah, I had a Dare T-shirt because I thought it was cool. in a sort of ironic kind of way.
Yeah. Most of the research studies have shown Dare increases drug use, but so it goes. Who needs research to make decisions?
Yeah. So when people speedrun this, they don't really even bother with these flashers, do they?
No, you jump over the bullets. If you get hit by seven
Oh,
bullets,
I
it
get it.
slows you down for a second.
Yep. He's got some pep in his step. He's kind of like moonwalking.
Saunter is what we
Saunter,
call it.
yeah. Do I get in the
jump in
car?
Yep, and stay on the bottom of the screen. You'll get some distance, and then you'll blow up, because that's just kind of how this works. Keep going. Lori is redeemed. Take a drink, because you're going to drink and drive a NARC. Cheers, Lori. Thank you, as always, for showing up.
I feel
Hopefully
bad.
life is treating you well.
My,
Chris is focused. He's on this.
my drink is empty.
Oh, no. Do you want more? It's I can pour.
Yeah, a little bit, sure.
All right. A little gin and tonic for the road.
How do I get over? Oh, I just jump?
Yep.
I jump and then slide over it.
Physics. You're not a physicist. Don't read
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
All
Oh,
right. Go, I'll join you as well.
should I
Helicopters.
practice the...
Jump rocket? Yeah, might as well. That is literally the hardest part. That's the rate limiting step for everyone. There you go. And the hat height is a little bit challenging, but
You want to get it on the way down or the way up?
for the end boss, it's on the way down. It's like when you just below the peak is when you want to shoot it. But cheers, Lori. Hopefully, I have a drink in hand. But also, you have to get up and go to work tomorrow, so maybe not. Do you teach during the summer at all?
I do not.
Okay, so that's nice.
Yep. Yeah. I in our department, we typically would have a course load of 1-1, but I will do 2-0.
Oh, nice. They let you do that.
Yeah.
Do you teach the same class?
Last year I did not. Well, technically, one was an undergrad cog neuro class, one is a grad student, a grad cog neuro class. Do I get in the car?
Yep. So get in the car, stay on the bottom, and then go up to the top white line. That'll get you some more distance, and then you'll hit a wall. And then you keep going. You know I don't drink right. Yes, Lori, I do know that. Except we cheersed on your departure, so cheers. You're lucky you don't drink with the Caesars that we had earlier. That is an eclectic taste.
I appreciate the description that your wife provided, which is it's kind of meaty.
You gotta chew it down.
It's maybe better served as a condiment.
I mean, I could see that with a hearty, you like the burger mounted on it, like just as a compliment to that. So stay on the bottom. Oh, no. Sorry, I didn't intervene quick enough. So now you're going to saunter to the end of the level.
They didn't put a lot of thought into this when they programmed. Like, it's just walking. There's not even a bad guy.
Nope.
There's not even like one crackhead.
The like dogs will show up here, or one of the Joe Rockhead guys.
Do the dogs carry like pouches of heroin around their neck or something?
Ah, that's a good question. I don't know that much of the lore.
Or are these like the junkyard dogs?
I'm gonna say junkyard dog is a good descriptor.
Get off me, dog. They are
Oh, yeah,
really
they're
corrosive.
ruthless.
They're tenacious. Is this showing my progress? S to F?
Yep. Yeah, so you're coming up, you'll jump over these garbage cans, go out the door, and then you'll be done with this level. So we talked about science-related movies.
Yeah.
Memento gets it right.
Mostly, yeah.
Most things get it wrong.
Most things get it wrong, yeah. But you know, you have to take some liberties, creative liberties, to make it humorous, right?
Yeah, no, that's
Nobody
right.
really wants to watch a movie about somebody with amnesia.
It's not, turns out it's not fun.
Adult books. Kinky Pinky.
You know, clowns with knives.
Yeah.
The 80s.
Dink and Doink.
All right, so speaking of movies, we're going back to hockey. Favorite hockey movies?
Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks, first one.
The triple deke you would never see in real life, especially not when it starts at the red line.
And he stops at the end and
Yeah,
like it
exactly.
mattered what he
Takes a
did
splash.
before that. Like, sure, you loop, he loops, who cares?
Yeah. But as a kid,
That door right there,
Mighty Ducks was the one, right? Because it was,
skating through the Mall of America.
yeah. And also, like, they made the decision for people that,
White card, you're going to press up, but not too much. No. Okay, you're going to do that again, but don't go up into the door again.
people that don't know much about hockey might assume that a country like Iceland, were they in Mighty Ducks or D2?
That was D2.
But
yeah.
in any case, that like maybe in a place like Iceland, people, which way do I go?
That card right there, sorry.
Got it. Hung up by Pinky Kinky.
Exactly. Ice has a name, Ice, so they're good at
Yeah.
hockey.
So they play against the Icelandic team.
Yeah,
As far as I know, people in Iceland don't know anything about hockey.
I was going to say it's Sweden and
Sweden,
Finland,
Finland, yeah,
Canada.
Canada, Russia. Well, Canada used to be sort of the dominant power. In my estimation, it is the U.S. now,
Left on this level.
simply because they have a very different approach to training.
Oh, interesting. So you're going to shoot these Rambo-looking guys at close range with bullets.
Okay.
Just wait for them to come up and then hold the shoot button, and one will drop a green card eventually. So shoot the guy in white.
Oh, that spawns more Rambos.
Yep, this is Nintendo rules.
I think I said in my bio,
There you go.
one of the things I do is for my kids do a lot of grinding on Animal Crossing so that they have their bells to buy things.
Yeah. So you did a lot of farming.
So there are islands that you can go to where, is this the boss? No. There are islands you can go to where if you clear out all the vegetation, take out all of everything on the island, it will spawn tarantulas, which have a lot of value. And that reminded me of that, where you have to kill these guys to spawn the other guys.
That's appropriate. All right, one more hockey movie question. Have you seen Goon?
I have not seen Goon.
Oh my
That's the
God.
one with Stifler.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is.
Williams. God, what is it?
That's
Sean. Yeah, it's Stifler.
think that's right, yeah.
Sean William Scott, something like that.
So no, I haven't seen Goon.
Ice.
You know, the problem with hockey movies is the same thing. It's the same with basketball movies. There aren't any good ones.
Sean
actually-
William Scott. There we go.
Yeah.
But Goon is pretty spectacular. That's Debbie, one of Debbie and my favorite movies, hockey related.
Yeah. For me, I think Shoresy gets it right. The
Yeah.
sort of dressing room culture. It it doesn't get all of the. There's a lot that's wrong with hockey culture, and it doesn't capture that fully. NARC 1 intelligence reports, Mr. Big's office is impenetrable. Let's see about that.
I think Goon does this spectacular balance of like heart and like humor and violence, and it's one of those unique like slap shot without all the sexism that came with the 1970s.
Yep.
I strongly encourage you to watch it.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
If nothing else, before the next time you're on stream, that's your homework assignment.
Okay. Goon. Yeah.
Goon.
Yeah, Slapshot. I think what Slapshot does well is captures that minor league feeling of like you got to ride the bus.
Yeah.
It's not glamorous, and every now and then you come up on an Oglethorpe that you don't want to play against.
Yeah. No, Goon does that too because minor league it captures that.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore would have also been acceptable.
Oh yeah.
Technically a hockey movie.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore. First man to try to kill someone with a skate, I think.
Oh, I like it. All right, any last minute questions for Chris? He's happy to answer them. Cognitive neuroscience. I know we've taken a detour, but he has about, 5 minutes, depending on how long the boss takes. If you guys have questions, throw those in chat. We are happy to answer those as we beat Mr. Big. So you're on to the final boss. This guy in the wheelchair, you got to shoot with a rocket. So it's tapping a whole lot of A. So yep, gentler on that hit. There you go. That's one. He's going to inchworm. Right up the wheelchair.
He's gonna
come back. Yep. Oh man. Ask me how I know so much about this game.
Yeah, how do you know so much about
I'm the former world record holder in the speed run.
Really?
9 minutes and 7 seconds.
And what's that competition look like? 4 or 5 guys?
Exactly. So there's 12 people on the top list right now. But what ended up happening is after running the stream several times, I was the guest and had one of my colleagues in chemistry be the host. And this was a bargain bin game for my childhood.
Oh,
and
really?
So I played it on stream, and like it became this running joke where I made guests play it at the end of the night, which is where this tradition came from.
Yeah.
And then it became a challenge for me to speedrun it.
Okay.
And so basically my claim to fame in this game is I sped around, I practiced it a bunch, and I found out if you despawn this dead body off screen to the left, he respawns right away. So I saved 30 seconds on previous runs.
Oh, 30 seconds is a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
How many of these? There's 3 guys?
Yeah, you have to hit them 3 times. So each one of those you can save, 15 seconds. Because you have to kill everyone on screen, go through 2 browns and 3 blues, and then he'll come back. And it takes a lot of time. And so I played it over and over again, and I had a graph that had a bimodal distribution as how long it took. And it was because of if you spawn them off screen, it's faster. And so yeah, I learned way too much about this game.
That was my third. Oh, that's the card?
Mm-hmm. So right through there, now we're on to the second stage of the final boss.
This is the guy with the hat?
Yep.
Mr. Big.
This jump rocket. So top of the screen, jump rocket, hit him in the hat.
Okay, and then get him right in the spine.
Mm-hmm. And just tap the buttons gently. So on the way down, you want A.
Ah.
There you go. Okay, rocket to the face.
Oh.
Yep. So you can hit him now. Die, run away.
He seems to anticipate which way I want to go.
Yeah, no, he's ruthless. So, oof. Oh man,
Golly.
move up a little higher, you'll get away from him.
Oh, okay.
Whatever that is. That's like flame lasers? I don't know.
He... What? How am I forecasting what I want to do?
Little did they know this is peak AI right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it happened in the 1980s. There you go. Okay, now you're going to go down. Between these black lines, run away. He turns down, shoot. Yep, see how that vertebrae disappeared? You're going to do that a bunch more times.
He's down to 3 of them.
Actual education with the raid. Thank you for joining us. We are closing out the night with NARC. I make every guest on Ask a Scientist Gaming play NARC, but thank you for joining us in the last minutes. Actual education, you guys should check them out. Math and science tutoring live on stream. Non-profit, if I remembered correctly. But yeah, there's a link to actual education. Dark Aspect, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. Keegan, thank you for joining us as well. We are closing the night with NARC. In fact, Ask a Scientist Gaming mediocre gameplay. I make every single one of my guests that joins us every 2 weeks finish the night with this particular game.
Oh man, the drink of choice tonight is an excellent question. So
Should I be collecting this gold?
yeah, you don't have to. It's civil forfeiture of the level. So just go to the end. Time ends when you get to the end. But yeah, our drink tonight. All right, 15 minutes and 31 seconds. Holy shit, that is a good time. Congratulations.
All right.
So yeah,
You should do this like on what's that the British show with the cars where they have the celebrities drive
oh, what's that
and
called?
they put their thing on the leaderboard.
Yeah. No, we actually have.
Oh, maybe you do have that. Wow. Oh, Adam's number 1 at 1618.
We've had 2 people beat him.
I'm at 1530.
I think you're at number 3, but you did beat Adam.
Number 3. I felt like I was cruising there.
No, you were flying. The car took you some time, but
Yeah.
yeah, actual education. Thank you for joining us. The Top Gear. Top Gear is the one. Stig.
Top Gear.
Yeah, drink of choice tonight was an interesting one. You guys can see it. It's called a Caesar.
Caesar,
Chris
yeah.
can tell you about a Caesar. It is a classic Canadian drink.
Yep. Vodka, clamato juice, which is tomato juice with clam juice. Tabasco sauce, Worcestershire, celery salt on the rim, lime, celery. It's the drink that eats like a meal.
What did somebody call it? It was like a glorified Bloody Mary or something like that. What was the fancy Bloody Mary? All right, let's look up the times. So I'm going to show you guys our speed run times. We're going to see where Chris falls on that spectrum with 1531. Oh,
39.
All right.
Oh, I won't judge.
15. Yeah, I'll figure that out. Sorry, I got to put an asterisk there. All right, so we have. So at 12. So this is our leader right now, Tom Usick from Linguistics with 2014.
He's played NARC before.
Oh, he watched the videos.
Oh, really?
He came prepared. Okay. He's not messing around. I'm going to show you guys right now. This is our leaderboard. I'm sorry if you guys can't read that. I'll try to zoom in a bit.
How is this?
So these aren't sorted yet. These are
okay.
new ones that I've added. So at 1531, that puts you behind Tommy.
Yep. But above everybody else. Is that right?
Yeah, that puts you at number two.
I can live with number 2.
Number 2 is solid.
Yeah.
I mean, one speedrun tutorial away from you got this.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm going to commit that much time and energy.
So we have 4 minutes left. So I'm going to suggest with our 4 minutes of time, well, you guys can put any questions you want for Chris. He's happy to answer them about cognitive neuroscience, and then we talked about brain training. We talked about long-term memory, short-term memory, about Walking Dead functional MRI. You guys can ask any questions you want on those subjects. While we do, let me close that. We're going to close out the night with a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
Sure. Why not?
You got 4 minutes. We had it on the list. You need to play it.
Yeah.
This is an all-time classic. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about neuroscience, cognitive neuroscience, cognition, brain processing, please feel free to ask those in chat. Looks like a bloody with more A. It had a lot in it. The A's.
I didn't notice that I say A until I moved here. I thought that was just like a thing that people talk. I didn't fully appreciate like it's just how we talk.
The O's, and the Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A is good though. I mean, it's cold out, eh? It's nice out, eh?
Yeah. It's like over.
Over.
Yeah. Lets people know when the sentence is done.
Yeah. And I have an expectation about what you are going to respond with, so you don't even have to respond.
Yeah.
Unless you feel otherwise.
And Lori, did we ask the no moral quorums research question? Yes, we did. It was basically selective.
We're gonna chop people's brains out.
Yeah. Selective brain damage to see what the consequences are. Basically, cause and effect. You can't pinpoint consequences of brain damage necessarily unless you actually cause that brain damage. So yeah. No, that was a fun one.
Yeah, in some cases, nature will give you something that you can work with. You know, we talked a lot about the hippocampus. There are some conditions that will very selectively compromise the hippocampus, but rarely in totality.
That's fair. All right, we got about 2 minutes left. If you guys have suggestions on people we should raid, actual education.
What's a raid?
We're done. It's basically bringing your viewers to someone else. It's a very like social networking.
I see.
Especially like the education community is awesome. Like actual education does tutoring online, which is pretty incredible. There's a lot of different. That was what I was saying. Your daughter, if she does woodworking, and Twitch is a venue where you can do that. There's people that do like metallurgy. They do.
Oh, really?
Like,
so it's not just about video games necessarily.
No, it's not. It's everything. There's there's a newly invented hot tub category, which is like OnlyFans equivalent. It used to be in just chatting, and they made its own category because why not? But yeah, science and technology, makers, crafting, skills like that. Yeah, there's a few people that do woodworking or
Yeah, I mean, I won't claim to be good at it, but I think I like her idea of like,
I mean, that's
trying to inspire other kids to feel comfortable using power tools and building, being creative.
And that was one of the things when I like started the stream. I recognized it wasn't people that were good at stuff that got the viewership. It was people that were interesting. And I'm like,
oh, that's cool.
Scientists are interesting. I think they are.
Mostly, yeah.
Sure, we talked about hockey for a half hour, but if you're into that, like, it's great.
Yeah.
Cuddle Puppy has a suggestion. You could just find people with selective brain damage by screening reality TV viewers.
Brutal.
No comment. This is on YouTube forever.
Well, you might,
Get IRB approval on that. Man. With that said,
yeah,
you're not wrong. Oh man.
The beauty of it is they would just volunteer if you just tell them they're going to be on camera.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like
this is your chance. This is your shot.
Yeah, moment of fame. Your name will be in literature if you approve. Forever. We might even name a condition after you.
It'll be one of those Facebook things where it says, I don't know how real those things are. I don't have any social media, but when they're like, they take an IQ test and it says they scored at the 16th percentile. And they're like, all right.
Yeah. You got a 95.
85th percentile. That's the opposite.
I got a 92. That's an A.
Yeah, that's an A.
Oh, man. We're going to let you beat, this is Rocksteady, right?
Rocksteady.
If I remember correctly.
Yep.
And then we'll call it a night because we just crossed 11 o'clock. If you guys have suggestions on somebody we should raid, throw those in chat. But yeah, man, this is a class. I played this game so much. Here's the most important question of the night. Do you remember the Konami code?
The only code I remember was left, right, up, down, A, B, B, A. I don't know if that was Konami.
So the one I know is up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start.
Yeah,
So
I didn't.
I don't know which iteration, but it worked for this game and it worked for Contra.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't have a lot of games when I was a kid. We had this game, we had Mario Bros.
Yeah, the only way
Barbie.
The only way I beat this game was with the Konami code because it gave you 9 continues.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're gonna call it quits there.
Well, thanks everybody that had asked questions or just hung out and indulged us while we talked about hockey.
Oh my god! I mean, that's one of the most fun parts. If you tell me I get to hang out with colleagues and drink and play video games and talk whatever we want to talk, I absolutely love it. So, thank you, Chris. Thank you for joining me. I think you were a cold email. You might have been suggested by Molly at some point. So I reached out to you. And you said yes, and we got to play a whole bunch of. I mean, it was fun. We got to do Metroid Dread. That was fun. Celeste, NHL hockey. We played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the end. A little bit of Star Fox.
Yeah.
That's a solid night of gaming. So I really appreciate it.
And NARC, of course.
NARC close to that. Solid time, second behind Tommy.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have to watch the speedrun tutorial.
I'm actually gonna have to pick up a copy of NARC.
It's fine. You'll find it somewhere online. But again, Chris, thank you very much. Any parting words for the audience? Any words of wisdom? Anything you'd like them to know about cognitive neuroscience?
Your brain is incredibly resilient. You can find case studies of people that have most of their brain missing and they get on just fine in life. So rest easy knowing that you'll probably be okay.
And they're probably on reality TV. It's fine.
Yeah.
As we learned from Cuddle Puppy. All right, Chris, thank you very much for joining me. In 2 weeks, August 6th, we're going to have Brian Kudashan, who's a colleague from my department. He does ultra-fast spectroscopy, which is basically light-induced monitoring matter, doing it on femtosecond timescale. He's interested in radical chemistry and photoreactions and monitoring those very, very quickly with, high fields and high magnetic fields, as well as ultra-fast measurements. So, Cuddle Puppy, you'll probably be okay, Florida State University. If you remember anything from the stream, that's the quote. You'll probably be okay. What is it? Phineas Gage? Phineas, the pipe through the head. You'll probably be okay. If you can survive, if you live through it, how bad can it be?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Chris. Thank you for joining me. Stick around. We're gonna raid. We might raid. I don't know who's on. It's a little bit late on a Wednesday night, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, join us again in 2 weeks. It's always a pleasure. Thank you as always. Look forward to the next time. And Chris, thank you again.